Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, everybody. It's Rod with Pow Group. Today is Christmas Eve. It's December 23rd. I hope you're doing well. Today is a very special show. We have a holiday special with a very special guest. He's the man, the myth, and some call him a living legend. And that's none other than Martyn Lucas, the investor. Martyn.
That was a great introduction. I have to say, I did really enjoy your intro there, little trailer. Very, very cool. But it's great to be on your show. Pleasure, privilege.
Absolutely. Likewise. And I hear this is the first interview you've ever done. So I feel
first interview on YouTube. Yes, I've done lots of TV interviews with my Vegas shows, but this is the first time I've done a YouTube interview. Yeah, you're the first one. I don't normally do it, but you came across as a really great guy, and I thought, this is going to be fun. Let me do it.
Appreciate that.
My pleasure.
Shout out to your audience as well, all the Lucasades.
Oh, yes, the army's here. Yeah, I can see them in the chat coming in. Yeah, lovely.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I appreciate it. And if you could smash the like, we'll jump right into the interview today. We're going to be fielding questions from the live chat as well. You can see there's tons of comments already rolling in. Appreciate everybody tuning in, and wish everybody a happy holiday season. We'll jump right into it. If you could maybe just start with your background, Martyn, for people, especially, a lot of the audience, my group hasn't heard of you before. So if you could just maybe touch on where you're from, where you grew up, your professional background, etc.
Okay. Well, I'm from Cornwall in England. That's my home, still my home. My house is there, but my studio is here in Dallas, Texas. I'm an entertainer. I've been an entertainer since I was 4 years of age. In fact, my parents were both well-known entertainers, and my godfather was Kenny Baker, the man inside the robot R2-D2, hence the name Martyn Lucas. And I've been in entertainment since I was born, and I've traveled the world as the world piano man. I've performed, I've had my own Vegas show. I've toured all over the world. It's been a wonderful, wonderful life. Unfortunately, COVID brought an end to that. So COVID finished all of that, and I was in the middle of the $1 million tour, raising money for the Lions Club. This is one of the plaques I got on tour with the Lions Club, raising millions of dollars for the Lions Club. And it was all going to end in the American Airlines Stadium in Dallas, Texas, on the last night, and we were going to get $1 million in one night of that show. And unfortunately, it all came to an end because of COVID, and I decided to, what am I going to do now? So I saw people streaming online, and they were doing, videos, sat on the bed playing the guitar, and I thought, that's not me. I need to build a studio like my, theatre days. So I built this, put this together. It took me a couple of years, and decided I want to go on and do a TV show, because YouTube is really going towards TV now. People watch it on big screens and so on. And I thought, what should I do? And I thought, okay, I'll do an investment channel. That's interesting. Alongside my other two channels, I have three channels, the music channel, this one, and the extra channel, which is 24 hours a day, and build a TV network. And off it went. And my pursuit was, I love setting ridiculously insane challenges. I want to build the best YouTube channel in the world, the best studio, the best of everything. And I committed to that. And I go live 12 hours a day, 5 days a week. And we've interviewed CEOs on the show. We've had I was on a live earnings call the other day. We're actually phoned into the earnings call. I've got friends on Wall Street. I've got lots of great connections. And then I brought that to my audience, and then I've teamed up with other creators. Half a dozen now I'm talking to, like yourself, people that want to be part of my network rather than having their own channel, so we can build a global brand. And we go live to 69 countries, 14 languages every day. And it's the best job in the world, Rod. I love it. And you know all about it. You're on YouTube as well. 4 years ago, I had 1 subscriber. And here we are doing 1,000 subscribers a day at the moment, with 98% of our live viewers members. It's the highest engagement rate of any channel in the world. Very exciting.
Absolutely. Very impressive. We share a lot of the same passion, I think. I definitely relate. And when it comes to investing, what are your thoughts there? Were you always kind of in the investing world, or was it more or less just an interest once you started to look into YouTube? Have you always been investing?
When you're younger, you can take risks, and I took a lot of risk when I was younger. Left home at 16 and built my business, and as an entertainer, and traveled with a big theatre show. So I wasn't really investing much then, but as I got to about 22, 23, and I had some money, I started investing with Barclays Bank. But I didn't make much money because even though I won on my trades nearly all the time, I didn't make any profit that much because of all the costs involved with trading back those days. Was now, of course, you can trade for free. It's a completely different thing. Even though the price, there's real cost built in, you just don't see it the same way. But it's much easier for people to trade and invest now. The reason for doing the investment channel really was because my audience, my musical audience, are not on YouTube. They watch me on in live stages. They're much older than me. My audience are old, and they come to theaters and concert halls, so they don't tend to watch me on YouTube. So I knew doing my music thing wasn't going to do that well. So I thought I would do this, but I saw a lot of people, with the dawn of crypto and Robinhood during COVID, a lot of channels were started up being, not very honest. Everyone's selfish and everyone's trying to do it to get famous, or do it to get rich, or do it to sell or pump up an asset. As everyone knows, I only own the S&P. I'm here just to help people, and I made my fame and fortune with doing what I did. And I just want to do something I'm proud of, that my wife tells me at the end of the day, you help people, you made them laugh, you made some money. And, that's why I started doing the investment channel, just to be the real honest channel and bring real honesty to people. That's why I do this.
Awesome. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there, because I agree with pretty much everything you said. I try to grow my channel, at the rate that it'll grow based on me telling the truth, not trying to, clickbait everybody and, go to other channels if you want to hear the fluff. I try to tell people what they need to hear, not what they want to hear a lot of times. So, and I must commend you on a great channel. I've been tuning in for a while now. And when you rip on the piano, there's nothing like it. So,
well, thanks for supporting us. You're one of the Lucasades. You're one of the members, and our audience love you for that, and we all help each other. I can see in the chat now it's all my members. This is great. I can see everybody. Stacey Bailey, James Kazansky, all the Lucasades are here. It's funny not seeing them with a badge. They haven't got a badge or a moderator, but we all support each other. And like Mr. B said, and he's right here. He's wrong in a lot of things, the way he sells videos just to get views, but he's right when he says that you share the audience, because if you're confident in yourself and you believe in yourself and you know what you're doing is real and honest, share it with everybody. People said to me today, why am I sending all my audience to you? I could be on air now, or I could send them to one of my premieres, but I'm sending them to you. The more you give to people and you help people, money takes care of itself. It's why it's why everyone's a member on the channel, because they support what the mission is. And you're doing the right thing. It's really hard to sell the truth because no one cares. Most people don't. Well, people do, but when it first starts, the people that find you are the ones looking to get rich in 3 seconds. They want you to basically cheerlead their favorite asset, and tell them it's going to be great, and it's going to go to $1 million, and it's going to yada yada yada. And that is a very easy sell. But if you build the foundation, spend the time building foundations and real people, and don't see people as subscribers, but see them as your friends. They're the ones that are giving you this privilege to do this wonderful job. I now live on YouTube. YouTube pays all my bills. This is my full-time job, right? They are giving you the best job in the world. And I say, I give them my lifetime, and they give me the time of my life. That's a cheesy line, and I don't mind admitting I'm a cheesy entertainer, but that's the real feeling, right? And, they will follow you, and they will watch you every day, 4 or 5 hours a day, every day. And, they'll go with you, and you'll grow. And so you're doing the right thing, Rod, by being honest. It's hard, but you're teaming up with me now, mate, and I'm live 12 hours a day. And I promise you, as I grow, you'll grow with me. So we all grow together, right? So, do the right thing. And people want that, right?
Appreciate that. And there's something special about being live too, right? It's a new way to basically get the message out, and being live all day, every day. People if you see the work, right?
Yeah, and if you work at it and you perfect your skills. I mean, I spent a year before I went live with this studio. I'll just give you a little, I know you wanted me to show you sort of behind the scenes. You can see all these cameras are moving. I've got all different things here. These cameras are all on tracks. All these lights come together. Everything starts moving. There's 20 screens in this studio. We've got the piano back there. We've got different things that move and so on. If you start building, if you spend the time building it out at the beginning, you can actually make an edited video live. I mean, you can. I mean, some people like Graham Stepan's got 4 million, or 4 million subscribers. He does 2 main videos a week. He spends the week making it. Yeah. He hasn't built the machine that builds the machine, like Tesla, right? I built the machine that builds the machine. So I can make 100 videos a day, look as edited and polished and as sounding as good as anyone who spends all week doing it, and I do it live, and it just goes out at the end. I can repurpose it as a video. But if you do it live for people, you're making them the star. And I know this. I learned this two nights ago. I had our second convention. We met our audience in Dallas, just outside Dallas. We did it first year in England. This year was in Dallas, and people came. One guy came from Florida. One person came from California, and we got together, and they didn't stop talking to me the moment I got there. Now, if it had been me, the show is me, they would have wanted to hear what I had to say, and they would have gone, oh, it's Martyn Lucas, well, can we have your autograph? And da-da-da-da. No, there was none of that. They just talked to me non-stop. In fact, it was crazy because they were all talking to me at the same time. Why? Because they felt the show was their show. And they wanted to tell me what their experiences was, what they felt about the show, what their trades are, what their investments are. You've made the people the star. And if you make the people the star of the show, I learned that as well. Piano man Elton John said to me, entertain the man at the back of the room, the one who sat in the dark in the corner, the ones at the front are your fans. They're already there. Find the man at the back. It's why I do Whack a Troll, why I dress the trolls, and why I challenge people. Yeah, we whack a troll, because you then reach everybody. You don't always convert the troll. Some stupid is stupid. You can't help people sometimes, but you try. But the people see you doing that, and they support that because it's real.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, the honesty, and couldn't agree more. I know we're going to dive more into specifically crypto and MJ. I know a lot of people are wondering, talk about Tilray, talk about XRP, and shout out to the Tilray army, the XRP army. We'll jump into that in just a moment. I did want to just kind of get your background with regards to the industries, though, like with regards to crypto, MJ industry. Have you been following that for a while now, or is it kind of something that you started to follow based on your audience's, interests? But
right. You just well, first of all, and to quote Warren Buffett, you don't have to be an expert in anything, but you do have to be an expert in a couple of things. I know how to put on a show. I know how to engage an audience. I know how to get people to want to be part of the show and provide me with information. I know how to make friends with CEOs. We've had them on the show. I know how to get onto earnings calls. So I'm about relationships. The biggest part of my show is me, what I do off air, talking to the people who run the projects, talking to the CEOs, talking to people that work at the factories, people that work there, understand what the business is about, the people actually who run the stuff. Then I surround myself with great people like Sensei, who does all the charts, who knows way more about technicals and charts than I'll ever know. But I know what's happening at the business. And you put the two things together, and then you have a good family. You have a real powerful tool there. So no, I'm not an expert in anything at all. It's quite funny. In fact, I said to Sensei, this is really great. I said, I've got a guy here who probably knows more about crypto than I do, interviewing me about crypto. I said, he should have you on the show. You're the expert. But, I probably know more than I let on. It's not, but I just think that the more you learn you don't know. And you're not the smartest man in the room. You're not the smartest trader. And I think if you come at it like that and take care of the money rather than chase the gains. I like to use this story. I don't know if you've heard this before, but I look at money. I never lose. I always make money. I never lose. And I always succeed in the things I set out in life. Everything I've ever decided to do, I do it. Because I focus on providing value to an audience if it's a business, but always realizing that I'm not the smartest man in the box. How can I possibly know more than anyone else? How can I possibly know what a stock's going to do? Warren Buffett doesn't know what a stock's going to do. How can I know? So what I do is, rather than chasing gains, I put my money to work, and I act the way I think of myself as a general in a castle. Being from England, that's quite easy, right? I have a castle, I'm the general, and I have my army all around me. That's my dollar bills. And I send them out to work. And they go out and they make small gains, more profits. And the army gets stronger, but no one ever gets left behind. No money ever gets lost. and they come back and they multiply and they compound. Einstein said about the compounding, science of compounding. Really is so underrated. So many people dismiss that as something that's not, why would you bother with the S&P at 10% a year? Well, you can make a lot more than 10% a year if you buy macro dips. I've done 35% on the S&P this year. Right. And if you never lose and you're always gaining and you take care of your money and you put it to work, every penny of mine, I have $10 in the bank. I've shared it on the screen, $10, Bank of America. My Robinhood is my bank. Yep. I don't believe in cash in the bank. It's pointless.
Oh, there's no point, right?
I have a credit card. I have a perfect credit score. I have a zero balance. I only spend what I have. I can pay off my credit card every month if I buy something. So I don't need money in the bank to do that. The biggest thing I have is the engine. You have to have income. Without income, you have no engine. Now, whether you got $1 or $1 million, you can make great gains. The same percentage as me. Doesn't matter. But don't lose money. Don't chase risky stocks. Be sensible and focus on the engine of earning money as opposed to getting rich from doing nothing. Yeah. So that's why I go live 12 hours a day and I invest every penny I earn. Don't waste a single penny. And every dollar works for me. And I'm looking for value, quality. And I don't care if the stock is $1 million or $1. I'm looking for the quality, not the price. The price of the stock is irrelevant to me. It's the quality. So that's how I invest.
Okay, cool. That's definitely ticked off a lot of my other questions, and making money work for you, right? Versus trading your time for money. And yeah, I agree with you. Very wise words. I share a lot of the same mindset, and I know enough to know that I don't know a whole lot, right? That's being humble and
yes.
Your approach. It sounds like a lot of people tuning in, especially my audience. We're an MJ stock channel, and secondly, crypto and blockchain. So two of the highest risk sectors.
Very risky. In the world. Very risky. Have you been there all the way through? Have you been there through the bear market as well as the bull market?
Yeah, I've been here for multiple bear markets. I started learning about Bitcoin and crypto in 2017, and then I joined into, when 2018 came around, Canada legalized MJ at the federal level. So I was trying to figure out a way to, make my passion something that I could do each and every day. And then if there was a monetary gain eventually, okay, great. But started the channel, Pow Group, Pursuit of Wealth, just, a passion for the industry. I love, helping people as well. And I was kind of like you. I started my channel in 2018, but it took me about a year or two. And then I really started to pump out the videos in 2020 because I just didn't have any, I'm not an entertainer. I'm not a, I don't do well on a camera. It took me a while before I could even.
You do good, mate. You look good. So looks good. Sounds good. You got it going on. Yep. Love it. You got that good radio voice. You got that good radio voice, I reckon.
Well, yeah. I'm like you. If I do something, I'm going to do it to the 100% of my ability, right?
That's it. Be the best of yourself.
Yeah. So while we were speaking about Tilray, we did have an interesting pop today in the stock. A lot of people, I've got a ton of messages, personal messages saying what's going on with Tilray. Why is it up today? I think it's mostly just technical. What do you think on that? What do you think the reason why it'd be up today?
I wouldn't say it was technical at all. I put a video out this morning just to promote your interview here today, just before we started. And look, Erwin Simon, first of all, Tilray, if you're going to buy into this sector, Tilray Brands a year ago, in my opinion, was the best option. Of all of the different ones, Tilray Brands in my opinion, was the best one. When they couldn't get it passed when they thought it would, Erwin's always saying it's going to be passed next, it's going to be passed soon, it's going to be passed soon. When that doesn't happen, he then decided to diversify. And I know you'll say he was already in the brewery business. He was craft beer. We understand that. However, if I am buying a business model and it changes dramatically, it's a different business now. And I believe if you want to buy a brewery business, there are better brewery businesses. We all know what they are. This is diversified because there was nothing really doing in the other sector. And I like how we're both trying to keep the words out of it. You've experienced that as well for the YouTube algorithm. If you want to get monetized, you don't say too many words that begin with C. Anyway, so he diversified, and I understand that. But then again, because I am in the privileged position that I've spent this time doing that, I've talked to people at Tilray. I've interviewed people at Tilray. I've spoken to board members. I have friends on X and Instagram that follow me who follow me from Tilray. So I know what's going on. And I know that the boards have a lot of infighting, a lot of in-selling and all the rest of it. A lot of people that are not happy with what's going on. Owen himself isn't happy with the stock price. Now, we don't want to get too bogged down into the stock price, because the stock price doesn't always mean it's a good or bad business, right? We get that. However, he does seem to be coming off a bit like, even though it's not a scam stock at all, it's a good business, but it's in trouble right now because of the time it's taking to get, rescheduling.
Yep.
But he does come across a little bit like Dave Mitchery from Mullen, always making up stories to pump the stock up and ultimately goes down. Once you start that road, it just never ends well. Then you've got Peter Rawlinson, who took all the money from Lucid, arguably the best EV car, better than Tesla, but the business makes no money because he pays himself all the profits. I can go on and on and on. We got GameStop. It's a bit different situation there because of Roaring Kitty, whatever. But Tilray has the potential to be a great business. However, you can't control the government and keep relying on or keep saying it's about to happen, it's about to happen. It's like the boy that cried wolf. Now, the reality is, and I put this in the video, why it popped today was because Irwin is now saying it's about to be delivered, right? It didn't. If the Democrats had won the election, Harris was making it a number one priority, a top focus. Right. Donald Trump wasn't. He did that after Harris was doing it as a kind of like, we can do that too situation. And I think most people would agree this is not the priority of Donald Trump's presidency to pass this. I'm not saying he won't. I believe, and most people do believe, that this will get passed. And I believe when it gets passed, in time, not immediately, it's a $40 stock. Not because of, I'm just guessing, but looking at the numbers, speaking to the people that work there, knowing how much money they'll save in tax and the way they're advertised and so on and so forth, knowing what markets will open up to them, knowing the incentives they'll get from the government. I've got friends as well in government, right? It tells me, calculated, it's a $40 stock. However, if you're waiting around for 4 or 5 years for that to happen, you could have made money on the S&P without the risk, not have to sell it. And you can always buy the stock higher. And there's nothing wrong, and that's when real money will buy it. There's nothing wrong with buying it at $10, knowing it's going to $100, as opposed to buying it at $1.40 with the hope it survives. Yeah. I would rather have the risk to rewards, not right now.
Yeah, you're talking about opportunity cost, and I agree with pretty much everything you said. I do think, though, that it did play out a little bit differently, right? The Dems didn't really say we wanted to legalize recreationally until maybe I think it was 2 or 3 weeks before the election. I remember at the Dem convention, there was some billboards saying that the Dems legalized MJ in Illinois or something like that. But correct. I don't think they made it and if you recall, Trump was actually saying he supported Amendment 3 in Florida. And he went on Lex Friedman's podcast as well, and he was talking about how good medical was. Agree. So it seemed like he was, already starting to change his stance before we had that. It didn't really seem like a political issue at the time. It didn't seem like a way to, kind of gain votes based on that one issue. It just seemed to me that he was starting to change his stance just because, maybe he's pro-business, maybe seems like he's pro-common sense. We're starting to see common sense, I think, from both sides of the aisle, where, we have to give the people what they want. And there was some polls out recently that, it's only about 12%, 13% of Americans, I think it should be illegal. So, at the end of the day, the people are speaking, and, these unelected bureaucrats, these elected officials, they work for the people. So, and a lot of people are saying that, the industry isn't really progressing, but I would argue the opposite, because, we have over half of the US legal in some form. We have almost half of the US legal at the recreational side of things. So I think it's 38 now in form of medical. So I think we're chugging along, but like you said, it's that opportunity cost. If you're not able to wait, being diversified within the sector, outside of the sector, all very important when you're looking at an industry that is very, very high risk, right?
Correct to what you say, referring to Trump. I agree with you 100% what you just said. However, you didn't mention the fact that about a year ago, Biden was bringing this to our attention again about pardoning people and so on and so forth, way before Trump was looking at it. And I want to be absolutely clear. I'm from England. I'm a green card holder. I don't vote. I have no political. Yeah. We're the same, right? I have no political stand. I'm not Republican or Democrat. Yeah. Completely impartial here. So I'm just interested in my members making money and the show being successful, and that's all I care about. And I care about you now because you're one of my members, and I want your show to be successful as mine. So that's what I care about. So I think you're right. You're right. However, it was already in major discussion way before that, before Trump jumped on it. But I don't see it being a priority. I mean, what the hell do I know? But from the people that I'm talking to, and I've got some good connections, there's no one telling me this is about to pass. Erwin Simon today said that. The stock pumped. The stock then took profit, went straight back down again, and now it's gone up again. This is not price action that I like. We have scalp traders on our show. We provide free scalp trading training. We don't charge up for our training by experts who've paid to learn to do it. We give it to you for free. But I don't scalp trade because I don't want to influence that on my show. It's done in our Discord. But an investment for me is a business I can buy and own and never have to sell, even though I might want to trim. I don't buy something that in 5 minutes I've got to dump it because everybody else is dumping it. I buy businesses that work for me 24/7 regardless. This at the moment is not a business. It's a concept of a product that doesn't fully exist in the way it's being sold.
I fully agree. And I remember, I think it was today earlier on your show, you said, somebody asked, what's a good stock to buy right now? And you said, call in. I can't really, obviously we're not giving financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only, but at the end of the day, you say, call in. I can't tell you until I know it's right for you. Right. And everybody's going to have to buy a stock based on what's right for you. Right. Why are you buying it? If you're buying something just because somebody on the internet told you to,
oh dear.
It's a terrible idea. Right. And I don't buy anything because I say it either, but
no,
I don't know. Maybe we need you talking bad about the stock more often because it's up 10, almost 11%.
Hey, yeah. Here you go. We'll have a little bit of fun now. If you want to get down to the fun of it, I enjoyed this the other day. And if anyone's watching, if you've not followed my show, you won't know British humor. You won't know the sarcastic humor. The more sarcastic my humor is, it means the more I like the person I'm doing it to. All right, just so you know. Right, I think Rod's a great guy. I love what he's doing here, and I'm all for it. But you said the other day, and I thought, right, I'm going to get you bugger when I come on the show. What's this? What's it? Number one Tilray community.
Best MJ.
I showed a video this morning. In fact, was it? No. Yes. No. It was on XRP. And when we come onto XRP, I'll show you. We rank number one in the world for XRP and number one for Hood. And very often, whenever I make a video on Tilray, we'll be number one on Google and YouTube. So don't you tell me you have the biggest audience. Get out of it, you.
I didn't say biggest. I said best.
Oh, the best. Oh, hear that, folks? He's telling you you're not the best anymore. Bloody hell. This is gonna go down the toilet very quickly. I can see that. No, but it's good to have the debate, though. And, and it is good for a stock as well. It's good for a stock to call it out. If I'm on the board, and I've been on loads of boards, if I'm on the board with Erwin Simon, I'm not telling him every day what a great guy he is. We're having a discussion to make our business successful. And if you're making mistakes, we're going to call it out because the shareholders aren't happy. The shareholders aren't happy now. How could you be happy? There are people here who have paid $8, I don't know, whatever it went to at one point. There's people out with the money. They're not happy. It's not a good story. Nothing good. And remind ourselves, we were just a few cents away from a $1 being in the delisting zone before we pumped this up this morning. Let's not forget that. This isn't great. You can't raise money at these levels.
I agree. A lot of people are basically saying that he's overpaid, which I don't think anybody would disagree with that.
Correct.
Maybe his days are numbered at the company. It's possible. But we'll see what happens. No one has a crystal ball, but I'm a Mr. Tilray bull. I love the stock. I love the company. I love the products. But at the end of the day, I'm a realist before anything. And I've been saying for multiple weeks now that we would probably see another leg lower. If you take a look at my screen here right now, we had a daily bear flag. So I know this isn't really your world, but kind of
Told you
in the
should have
line
got
of
Senza on the
Sensei's
show.
world. Yeah, no, it's fine. We can potentially do that in the future. But some people, they call me Mr. Tilray Bull, but I've been shouting from the rooftops for a while now, multiple weeks, if not months, saying that we should see 114. And look where we hit. 114 was the bottom. And from there, we jumped about 25%. So, some people are saying, oh, this guy's shorting, he's saying it's going to go down to $1.14. But again, I wish I could, invert the chart. I wish it looked like this instead. And I was saying it was a bull flag, but unfortunately, I'm just the messenger. So, a lot of people, I got a lot of flack for that. Even if we zoom out here to, a bit of the higher level timeframes here, you can see we actually had a descending triangle. And the bottom might not even be in. It's saying we could see sub $1. So to your point, the reverse split FUD could be in full effect. But at the end of the day, they still have 30 days. They have to trade under $1 for 30 days, and then they can get 180 day. They have 180 day to regain compliance, similar to Village Farms. Then they could even get a 180 day extension. So you're talking like a year and a month, essentially, was what we could be looking at before they're forced to do a reverse split. But could they reverse split? Absolutely. I don't put anything past the sector anymore. But just because it has a reverse split doesn't mean, like you said, just because the price is low doesn't mean it's a bad company. Just because they do a reverse split doesn't mean that the company's going to zero or anything like that, right? But it's definitely not a good sign, but it's kind of par for the course when it comes to MJ. Would you agree?
Yes, I would. And I'd like to comment on what you just said about Erwin Simon's future. I have a few friends at Tilray, and I would say the chance of him surviving is very unlikely in the future. People need to understand this, and you see this a lot. When you buy a stock, you're buying the people that work there. You own the business. All right. I don't buy stocks. I buy businesses. And you're absolutely right. He's taking way too much money for himself out of this company, just like we've just disclosed a couple of others. But got to remember, I remember interviewing the investor relations manager, Eric Kearney from Virgin Galactic, and we did a Bloomberg interview and everything. And Eric Kearney was still is the investment relations manager for Virgin Galactic. And he spoke to me, and we did this off air, and he wouldn't let me record it. I know why. He wanted to talk about the power of influence of YouTube. And he was the marketing manager at GameStop when Roaring Kitty was pumping it. And straight away, I lost respect for the guy. You're in it for yourself. You're in it for yourself. And people don't realize that just because a company is public, most people are greedy. Most people are selfish. And they're on the board. They pay themselves whatever they want because they're in charge. They're the CEO. It's been approved. And when the company, because it's got protection, liability protection, their home, their house, their personal wealth is fine. The business can crash, and Erwin Simon still rides off into the sunset with all your money that you put into that business. You lose your money, he's still a multi-millionaire. He's perfectly fine. And I remember Michael Cole Glazier, CEO, we covered this earnings as well, who said on the earnings call, I had the best job in the world, building rockets, living in the desert. And yet all the shareholders are losing all their money. Yeah. So be very careful when you buy a publicly traded company thinking that, it's your favorite stock and you love it. The stock doesn't love you. It also doesn't know you exist. And the CEO, when he rides it into the ground, he rides off into the sunset, and people need to be aware of that. So,
There's also a thing called non-dilutive shares, right? So a lot of these CEOs, not only are they getting compensated, financially, they're also getting a boatload of, warrants or some sort of options. And there's a reason why they call it the fully diluted market cap is because a lot of retail investors usually get shafted and they usually get the dilutive shares, right?
Correct.
So
absolutely correct.
Catch 22 for sure.
Yeah.
And to kind of give everybody a little bit more insight into this. So the article was from December 21st, right? This is the one you were talking about on your show today.
Yeah.
Tilray's CEO makes a bold prediction. So the reason why I don't think it was news driven is because it was from December 21st, but they're referencing, according to Simon, legalization is just around the corner. He recently predicted in an interview, and what they're referencing here is this interview with Fox Business that I posted.
Yeah, and I saw this.
Yeah, it's got close to 3,500 views. This was 6 days ago. So that was last week when I posted that. So the reason why I think it's mostly technical is because of this bear flag target that we hit on the daily time frame. We hit the level to perfection. Like, you literally can't make this stuff up. And from there, in just several weeks, we were down about almost 40%. So, nothing goes in a straight line forever, whether it be to the upside or the downside. So I think, the fact that it hit that target to perfection, to the penny, literally.
Congratulations, by the way. I'm impressed by that. That's very, very good. I'd like to have a show where I have you and Sensei on together, and because Sensei is an amazing technical engineer, an analyst, and put all that to the test. That's really good. But you're right. The technical did point to that. However, I also think that we are historically, if you look at all the history of the way it worked when there's an election and a bull market and the Santa rally and yada yada and all the history of it,
risk comes back into the market. And,
and you've got crypto being sold off, so you've got people taking profit out of one thing to buy another. Stuff moves around. Not on my portfolio, it doesn't. When it goes down, I just buy more. It doesn't go from one place to another. I know what I own, and I never change my mind. But you might be right. But it's people forget if you're buying this today.
Either, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
A multitude of factors.
Yeah, absolutely. But the fundamental hasn't changed yet. There's no reclassification. There's no it's going to get passed tomorrow. There's no big deal from someone.
Fair,
nothing's going on.
He didn't say like full-blown recreational legalization or anything like that. He said, I believe under the new administration, it will be legalized at some point in that 4 years. So he didn't say medical. He didn't say recreational, which there was a podcast with Brian Lanza and Big Mike, and he was talking about how, 4 years probably isn't enough to get it legalized recreationally, but they do believe that they could get it done at the medical side of things, and then rescheduling, safer banking. He thinks that's pretty much a shoe-in. But he was talking about medical legalization. He didn't think there was enough time in 4 years to get full legalization. So to be fair, he didn't specify exactly which kind of legalization.
No, I agree. But Erwin Simon,
said, he just keeps saying the same. He keeps singing the same tune, right?
He's singing the same tune.
To, right?
Yes, he does. However, he understands the retail investor majority who buy this. There are lots of people who buy this who are good investors. They look at the fundamental, they study the balance sheet, they understand the business as I do, they make relationships, they talk to people who work there, But there's a lot of people that, because you're going to come onto crypto in a minute, crypto people and this type of stock, because it's cheap and it's low and it's exciting and it's sexy and it's rock and roll, presents that potential of explosion. And he knows that. And, the S&P isn't going to go up 100% today, right? Well, this can go up 200% today, right? And then the moment it does, I think you'll dilute it and take it back down again. But that's just my thought on that. But if you buy it today and you sell it today, you got to pay 20% tax on that anyway.
Yeah. And speaking of which, there's tax loss selling for another, I think the last day is the 27th of December.
Yeah.
So on Friday. That's something, a cloud that's over our heads for right now, but leading into the new year.
Yeah.
I think,
everyone's lost money on it. Everyone. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
I think we'll see a switch too, right? Like the market, like you said, there's going to be rotation, big tech, crypto, it's been in a 5-year bull market. That money's got to go somewhere. There's a lot of reform catalysts on the horizon for the MJ industry, whether it takes a year or 2 years. At the end of the day, like you said, that money has to go somewhere. So I think it will benefit from that. But, not sugarcoating it. It's been a brutal industry, and that's why you have to be diversified, not just within the sector, but also outside the sector. And what everybody wants to hear is what we should do, what we should buy now. But everybody's circumstances are different, right? Like, you're a drastic different investor than myself, right? But we still can respect each other's decisions. We can have. I'm learning from you. Intelligent. Yeah, absolutely. Likewise.
Do you know? I tell you what, it's a bit of a secret. It's not really a secret, but I tell you what, I study numbers. I went all the way in numbers, right? I study numbers, charts, not technical charts like you, even though I do understand that more than I let on. It's not my thing. I've got an expert for that, Sensei. I've got an expert you now. You're a member of the channel as well. So there you got two. Sensei just, by the way, in the chat, just congratulated you on your charts. Very good.
Oh, thank you.
So he appreciated that.
I've kind of been neglecting the chat. I have 101 comments.
Yeah. We'll come to that in a minute.
We'll jump into.
I want to say this, right? This is really important. This is why I go live all the time. One of the reasons, right? you learn everything. I've got so much data now from my audience. I've done over 6,000 videos. 6,000. Look on my thing. I think it's 661, 62. I don't know what it is now. Millions of, I don't know how many hours I've gone live. I mean, up to 12 hours a day for 4 years. It's insane, right?
Yeah.
And I record everything. And I mean, the data wise, what people say, what they don't say, who does what. I can measure the audience, and people are so predictable. Yeah. Lemmings always follow lemmings. People's selfishness, greed, lies, trolls, whatever. I can learn, and I've learned so much from people. And you can see 9 times out of 10 where a stock will go by the people that follow it. And there's no honor amongst thieves. I have been the subject to, fun and poking, jokings at me or whatever in Reddit rooms. I don't go anymore, but my team look for me, and people say stuff, and those people that are in those rooms telling each other, "Come on, boys, come on, bros, let's pump the stock. We're all going to get rich." No, they're not. The admin at the top who's organising it is going to dump it when it goes up, and you're all going to lose money, which is what happened to Roaring Kitty, right? Handful of people made money, and everyone goes, but everyone got rich. Where's the everyone? You see somebody
lost money.
Yeah, you see 5 people on YouTube that got famous because of it telling you, but all the millions who haven't got a voice on YouTube because they don't, they're sitting there going, I lost all my money when Roaring Kitty dumped it, or I didn't get rich. And, that's what scares me. And you see a lot with it. This particular type of stock draws that. And some great investors, intelligent investors, but there are also some, there are also some people that oh, hang on a minute. Look at this. Sensei Crypto has just become a VIP member of your family in the chat. Look at that.
Love it.
Brilliant.
Appreciate it.
That's great. I'm love it.
So lost in the. There we go, right there. Perfect.
Let me have a look. Can I just look at see who's here? Let me say hello to her. I'll see Mike. Hello, Mike. How you doing? One of our original members, been a member now for 3 years. Team Fusion, that's one of ours. Kazansky, hello. How are you, Mr. Mankey? Garado Garcia, flipping heck. It's like my own show, Rod.
I
Jason.
Told you we had a lot of the same interested audience. So
yeah, absolutely. James W. But you see, this is what it's about being real, right? I asked my audience to come with me, and they're all here. They do it. The Lucasades are so committed that they'll support me to the end, and likewise.
Same thing. Yeah.
This is awesome.
Can't say enough about our audience as well, or the quality. Like, I don't think I've seen one bot in here yet, so we have no reason to whack a troll.
You do better than me then.
The moment, but
I got bloody loads. I call them out.
I do want to. You did mention something that was a perfect segue, and I did want to bring up the Roaring Kitty tweet in just a moment. But there was a lot of truth in what you were saying, right? Whenever it comes to promoting a stock, I want to say all the good things that I can about Tilray, but at the end of the day, there's been a lot of bad things, right? So at the end of the day, we just have to realize that you're in a very risky industry. I know there's some comments in here saying Tilray's trash. Be honest. The fact of the matter is the performance has been trash. But if you believe in the industry, if you believe in the sector is alive and well. I don't want to dwell too much on this because we can be here all day on just Tilray, and I do want to get to specifically crypto and XRP in just a moment. But they have a lot of great brands. They have over 500 distributors. They have, the HD9, so the hemp-derived beverages and products coming to the U.S. So a lot of people said they'll never sell in the U.S. Well, they're already doing it. They have their Manitoba harvest. Yes, a lot is dependent on the adjacencies of their business and U.S. legalization. But at the end of the day, some of these companies are going to make it long-term, right? And the ones that weather the storm are going to be the ones that reap the biggest rewards, right? And going on off on a little bit of a tangent here, and just to kind of get your thoughts on this, but Roaring Kitty, do you remember the tweet that he posted 0109-0420? And then coincidentally, Tilray announced that they're going to be reporting on January 9th. So there's been a lot of speculation there that there could be some sort of reference to those earnings. I don't see how, because he posted the tweet before the announcement of the earnings came out. But any thoughts on that?
Well, anyone who follows that must be barking mad. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not hard to find out those dates ahead of time. I learned something about earnings, which I can share with everybody. I was on an earnings call a couple of days ago. I was doing Mobix. I was actually on the call, not just covering the call, on the call. So I have a little bit of knowledge now of how these things go firsthand. Yep. And Roaring Kitty, as much as he's a scammer and a bad human being, in my opinion, is well connected. He knows people, right? And you can find stuff out. And when I was asked to be on that earnings call, I always thought the questions were the questions from the institutions and the banks presented on the night, and the company had to answer them. They're preset questions. I know that because I went through the SEC regulations and they had to approve by legal my questions prior. I also received some information before the call went out. So at the end of the day, nothing inside, by the way, in case anyone's wondering. But the point I'm making is there's information out there. Just not the public doesn't pick it up. And if you've got friends, you can find stuff out. It's public. It's not inside trading or anything. However, no one's noticing it, right? And but when I watched Roaring Kitty a few weeks ago, do you remember when he went live again after all those 2 years and he was covered in bandages and he was sitting there like a madman? I've got to be honest, and I don't care if it loses me subscribers, and it does, but I don't care. He's a bloody idiot. And no accountability for the people that lost all their money, right? I know the people
he's the ultimate degen, I call him.
Yeah, he's selfish. It's all about himself. Doesn't care. And I know because the offices of GameStop is just down the road from me. I know people that work there. I've talked to them, and they're not particularly a fan of him either. Doesn't do a stock any good being dragged in. The last thing you want for Tilray is for bloody Roaring Kitty to jump all over it, because he'll make money and everybody will lose their money, right? So
during I think it was 2021, the meme stocks were SNDL and Tilray, right? Out of the MJ land.
Because it's sexy and rock and roll and it's cool and it's this and that and the other. And you'll pump it up and then all of a sudden, see, this is what's so stupid about it, right? Yeah. When we bought Tilray, before I was buying the S&P, before I went media and just own the S&P for all the reasons I've given before. When I bought Tilray, when we bought XRP, which will come on, I'm sure to, we bought it at the right price. We didn't suddenly, because we investigated it. We built relationships, we studied charts, we studied fundamentals. I talked to people that worked there. We discovered this is a good thing. And we didn't suddenly, if Roaring Kitty suddenly says something great tomorrow and it all goes to $20 and now I'm buying it at $20, what? That's not an investor. That's a gambler, a lemming who's being influenced by a clown. I mean, there's nothing clever about that. So we don't do stuff like that. Even if you get rich in 5 seconds, we've proved this over and over and over again. Those that make money without any research, without any understanding of a stock, who get rich in 5 seconds, think, oh my God, I'm the greatest trader in the world. I know more than anyone. Well, then either it'll go back down before they sold it, or they'll sell it and buy something else equally crazy. At some point they'll lose, but the taxman doesn't forget. And he says, you owe 20% on that gain. Well, I haven't got it now. I bought Binky Bonk coin and that went to zero. We don't care. You still owe us some money, right? So, and you never hear from those people. Well, you wouldn't, would you? Because they're like invisible. They're not on YouTube telling you, but they exist. So, I wouldn't do it.
I can relate. There's like a lot of people messaging me directly today saying, what do you think of this article on the Motley Fool? Honestly, I don't even listen to what they say anymore. I could care less. I remember back in 2021 during the meme stock craze, they were pumping MJ and they were talking about, I think it was Hexo going to like $400 a share, just absolute ludicrous. There's no way it was happening, right? But that's what they do. They want to suck everybody in at the top, and then they want to spread fear at the bottom. And like you said, if you put in the research, the work, I do thousands of hours of research. I don't need the Motley Fool to come out with an article for me to feel comfortable in an investment.
No. Motley Fool is terrible. Motley Fool is for the Motley Fool. We did, it's a Hugh, Travis Hoyam writes for the Motley Fool. By the way, you just had a great super chat from one of our loyal top members here, Stacey Bailey.
For watching. Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you very
lovely
much for the super
comment.
chat.
Yeah,
Thank
lovely.
you, Stacey. Appreciate the support. We'll jump into the chat here, and I'm not going to neglect it for too long. I could go on. I have a ton more questions with regards to MJ and Tilray, but in effort of time, I do want to respect
Mate,
everybody's
you got
time.
as
We won't
much
jump
time
to
as
the
you
chat.
want. You take
Yeah,
us.
no, it's.
I'm here as
I got
long
a
as you
lot
need
of
me.
crypto stuff I want to dive into and get your thoughts on that. So you already said you don't own any MJ stocks. You only own the S&P. So if you could own, I don't know, pick 3 stocks. Or do you think there's one stock worth owning, or could you give me a top 3 or like a number 1 MJ stock that you would buy
Yes.
if you were
Yes.
to buy?
If I had to pick one, we did a 1 hour analysis. So this was when I looked at it, and I haven't looked at it for 6 months. But 6 months, and not much has changed in this space, has it, for 6 months? So it was SNDL.
Yeah, very bullish on them as well. The completely different business model too, right? That's
Correct.
one thing I like about the industry is they're a producer, they're a vertical producer, so they do seed to sale. They're into retail for MJ, and they also do alcohol retail. They're the biggest retailer here for alcohol in Edmonton.
Their
in Alberta,
business
sorry.
makes more sense. Their balance sheet, their everything about their structure makes more sense.
Boatload of cash.
Correct.
You know, and at the end of the day, there's going to be winners and losers. One thing I like about the Canadian market is you're starting to see that clear differentiation and the competitive advantage from a lot of these companies. Whereas in the US, I'm not sure what your thoughts are on the US producers, but they all kind of, it reminds me, it's PTSD from the Canadian early days, right? Everybody's trying to be the same, everything to everybody, and there's no real differentiation there. I would say maybe a Curaleaf or something like that in the US. They kind of remind me of a Tilray business model. But yeah, I think you've said if you're gonna invest in an industry like this, you have to be ready to kiss it all goodbye, right? You have to be willing to lose your whole investment, because fact of the matter is there's over 1,000 producers in Canada. There's probably thousands in the US. What are the chances you're going to hit the few that survive long term and make it into the mega cap, right? So
Yeah.
you have to call a spade, and that's why you need to do your research. And not downplaying that the industry, it's been rough, especially whenever everything's been at all-time highs. Look at crypto and AI and EVs, right? It's not easy. So I would just remind everybody that this, like you said, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. You're investing in an industry that has so much growth ahead. So we need to call it like it is. And at the end of the day, no one has a crystal ball, but I feel confident in my decisions with the sector, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion, right? So
yeah, but ask yourself why you're investing in it in the first place. People say you have to have crypto, you have to have this. No, you don't. What's your goal? Most people that I talk to that invest in speculative stocks, not just this one, a whole host of other stocks, and I use speculative respectfully because it's not yet a business really. What's your goal? And they don't know what the goal is. I don't know why my camera is low resolution on the screen. It's kind of strange. I'm sending it okay, but for some reason it's going out low. Don't know why that is. I'm watching it on YouTube as well. I don't know why that is.
Yeah, it is.
It's weird, isn't it? Maybe it'll correct itself in a minute. Yeah.
Technology. It's great.
Technology.
It works.
I've got 1 gig up, so it can't be me sending it up. I don't know why. It looks great on StreamYards, but it's going a bit weird. Anyway, who cares? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And people that are buying into speculative stocks very rarely know what their goal is. I ask them this: what's your goal? How much do you want to make? When do you want to make it by? I just want to get rich. Okay. Whereas when I talk to millionaires and my 1 billionaire friend, they know exactly what they want to make, they know exactly what their goals are, and they focus on not losing money and rather than chasing money. And even if you only bought a stock that is solid, like let's say the S&P 500, let's just say, for example, it's not a stock, but let's say you bought the ETF FOO, right? And it went sideways. The businesses made no money. Every company every business didn't grow, just went sideways. By default, with inflation, the price of your stock is going to go up in line with inflation. So your buying power doesn't increase, but your money goes up. Rather than leaving it in the bank where it would have gone down in value, you make money by default if you just go sideways. Yeah. So you got to ask yourself, if I'm going to not buy the S&P, and I'm not going to buy Apple, I'm not going to buy the best businesses in the world, Why am I buying this? What's the reason for you doing it? And if you haven't got a reason, just, well, it's going to go up and I'm going to get rich. Well, that's really not a good reason at all. If you studied the balance sheet, we did a poll on our show. 85% had never read the balance sheet. How scary is that, Rod?
Yeah.
How could you not read the balance sheet?
I know tons of people as well investing in. I know tons of people investing in MJ companies, and they can't tell me one brand. They can't tell me one.
Yeah, what's the point? Exactly.
It's like, can you imagine Warren Buffett buying McDonald's and not trying their food, or not?
Warren Buffett sits down with the CEO. He knows the family, goes around the house, then he buys the whole of Coca-Cola. Boof. Like, not the whole of it, but yeah, that's how I do it.
It's total degen mindset, and this isn't the space. Again, if you can't stomach it, I see it all the time too, right? People come in, they come in as an investor, and then they turn into a trader, and then they constantly feel like they have to be getting in and out of positions, and that's usually when people start to get wrecked, right? And I think Sensei had it on his channel the other day when he was live streaming that 95% of day traders lose money. So if you're getting in and out of positions, that just tells me that I'm a long-term investor now, and it can happen the other way too, right? Traders can start trading and then they lose on a trade, they're down 10, 20%, their stop loss got missed, or they didn't understand that stop losses don't get triggered in the aftermarket. Now they wake up to the stock gapping down and they're like, oh, I'm an investor now, right? So like you said, what's your goal? Are you an investor? Are you a trader? All these things you need, like, what's your sell target? Are you ever going to sell? Like, what's your plan? Are you going to, if it's crypto, are you going to stake it? Are you going to lend it? Like, all these things we have to know before we get into the position, right? And have a clear thesis. And if the thesis hasn't changed, then I would argue that the investment probably shouldn't change, right?
I agree.
Awesome.
100%.
All right. Well, that's awesome. And I just wanted to touch on one more thing before we switch to crypto. Just because something is speculative, like for myself, I know you're a value investor, a numbers guy, and you're very much into the Fortune 500 companies, the big companies, right? I love that. I'm also doing the same. That's part of my diversified strategy. But I like to go after the companies that are here to change the world, like that I think are going to make a big dent in the universe. And one company that I think is going to be the biggest is Ripple, blockchain company, which we'll talk about in just a moment. I think they have the potential to be bigger than Amazon and Apple combined. We're literally talking about the financial rails of the world, right? Quadrillions of dollars. Tesla, I was saying in 2017, 2018, loved the company, thought it was going to change the world. And, all the analysts, right? Motley Fool, all the analysts, CNBC saying it's not going to survive. It loses more money than you have any idea. Like it makes less cars in a year than Toyota makes in a month. It'll never be profitable. And then I think it was 10 years after it was founded in 2003, it turned its first ever quarterly profit. And then in 2020, it had a full year of profit. And before its first year of profit, it had its biggest loss ever. I think it was almost $400 million. And then it went on to become profitable. And we all know the history there, right? So, a lot of these, and the EV industry is very similar to MJ, right? Because you have to spend so much money up front before you see $1 of revenue, right? Think about these MJ businesses. They have to build a 1.5 million foot facility. They have to build fences. They have to get licensing, and then they have to grow it. It takes 3 to 6 months to grow it, and then cultivate it, package it, distribute it. So, you really got to look at it from the long term and realize that these companies, there's going to be probably half a dozen companies that run the MJ industry, and if we can find one or two of them, I think we'll do just fine. But it's it's a whole sea of uncertainty out there at the moment. So any last thoughts on MJ before we pivot over to crypto?
I'd have to just ask myself why at the moment, when there are so many other stocks that can return a good return. Maybe not as good a return if this pays off, but the time it takes, the uncertainty, as I said before, I think taking care of your money is better than chasing profit, because if you never lose and you always make money, and that's what I do, then you're always going to win. You're going to come out on top. Simple as that. $5,000, Rod, 4 years ago. I've now got just a couple of grand under $250,000 invested. I've never shorted the stock. I've never done options. Why am I going to get my $250,000 and risk it when I can just keep going the way I am? And you're doing
fantastic. And like what I tell people too, right, is, I'm not a financial advisor, obviously, but if you're going to look at MJ, like I see, like you said, there's people who bought Tilray at $40, $60. They're out hundreds of thousands of dollars. And what I tell people is if you're down $100,000 in one MJ stock, please tell me your net worth is at least like $2 or $3 million, right?
I'd hope so.
There's no way you should be putting any more than 10% of your net worth into one sector, specifically an MJ or a crypto, very high risk sector. So, again, I say 5 to 10% of your net worth into one sector, especially if it's risky, and then disperse that 5 to 10% out into a half a dozen or a dozen companies, right? And then, do the same with crypto.
Don't be over diversified though. People like to
spread yourself too thin, right?
Yeah. I mean, YouTube is a terrible place for telling people buy the dip, go to the moon. All these phrases.
Cryptos, I think there's over 2 million now. So good luck buying all $100 of every crypto. It's very easy to sell that story. Very easy to sell the story, buy the dip, go to the moon, get rich in 5 minutes. People just they can't help but look and go, what's this guy got? Whereas it's silly. And over diversifying yourself is silly. If you buy the S&P 500, you've got the 500 best businesses in the world. That's passively managed, and rubbish gets dropped off, new ones come in. You're already diversified. If you want to be diversified, and that is just buy the S&P 500, and people smarter than you are going to manage it better than you. Then if you love tech more than other things, like you mentioned Tesla, which we do like, then buy a bit of Tesla, which then you don't need to, but then of course it weights it a bit more towards Tesla if Tesla does well, and so on and so forth. But I think the balance of the S&P 500 is perfect because you've got very high tech at the top anyway. You've already got huge amounts of exposure without going bonkers, and you've also got the management of the passive management of rubbish falls off. And we had TPL join this year, and we had a few other good business that joined this year. But they were talking about MicroStrategy. I think they want to leave it out.
Join the Nasdaq. Right? Yeah.
Oh, and then it might Nasdaq or I thought they were talking about the S&P.
No, MicroStrategy joins Nasdaq today, 100.
Oh, does it? That's what it is. Okay.
And now and now there's a rumor.
I love that.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just going to remove you real quick from the stream and see if it resets your.
It's really weird, isn't it?
Yeah, just 1 second. No, it's still showing there, but that's what we do on this channel. We get through it. So we'll switch over to crypto. So everybody's aware, I own a lot more crypto than I do MJ. So I've been saying for a while now that, MJ is my passion, but at the end of the day, crypto's been in a 4-year, almost 5-year bull market, and MJ's been in an almost 5-year bear market. So my number one crypto.
Just before you ask that question, if I may, it might actually work if I just step out of the stream and then back in again. Okay. That might fix it. So I'll just leave and then re-enter. Is that all right?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
All right.
Perfect. Sorry about that. Thanks everybody for your patience. But to kind of finish my thought process while we wait for Martyn to rejoin the stream, a lot of people ask me, if you're so passionate about MJ, how come you own way more crypto and you talk about MJ on your channel 80 to 90% of the time? Well, that's because I enjoy covering the space. I'm an MJ enthusiast. I love the industry. I'm passionate about it through and through. But at the end of the day, I'm a realist, right? So I look at it. MJ might become a $1 trillion industry, and we're talking about crypto becoming a $50 to $100 trillion industry. So again, I love the industry. I just have to diversify, right? And I'm going to put my money to work. There we go. I'm going to put my money to work where it's best to go work for me. So we'll jump into crypto. Like I said, I think that everything's good now, so that's great. I think that crypto is great, right? There's over 2 million cryptos. Obviously, not everything's going to survive, and there's also going to be very profitable companies that emerge from this industry as well. And one company that I think is going to really put a dent in the universe, and some of their executives have actually used that saying, is Ripple. And I remember watching the Ellen DeGeneres show, and it was back in 2018. And they had Ashton Kutcher on the. Do you remember that, Martyn? Are you familiar with the clip?
I know Ellen DeGeneres, and I know Ashton Kutcher, but I didn't see the episode. No.
Well, everybody can look it up on YouTube. Just type in Ripple and Ashton and Ellen, and it'll come up. But essentially, I remember he came on, and he was like an early investor, and he said, I found this company Ripple, and basically was talking nonstop good things. And then they even donated, I think, like $4 million worth of XRP, or they called it Ripple at the time, on the show. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, I have to start looking into this, right? And from then,
I would have reacted the opposite way.
No, he went radio silence after, though. It was like,
yeah,
he wasn't allowed to say anything after that.
No, I bet.
It was actually the opposite. Everybody was like, there was people paying money for, like, Bitcoin investors were paying money to other people to slander XRP and Ripple. And I think a lot of that conflating of the two, right? XRP and Ripple. Like, what are your, before I give my thoughts and opinions and everything, but if someone comes to you and says, what is Ripple, what is XRP, what would you say?
Okay, well, the best person to talk to is Sensei on this, but
I'm just curious what
yeah, okay. No, I understand. Sensei first came to me and said, Martyn, you need some crypto in your portfolio. Not because of get more views. It wasn't because of that. People were looking at it. He said, you do need it. And we sat down, we talked. And I learned, okay, I can see a use case for that. But I also said, with any new technology like this, it is going to be susceptible to gambling and nonsense, which it is. You know, there's a lot of, fart coin, for example. We can go on forever, right? Anything where people can create something and, just spread nonsense is silly, in my opinion. But I can see how, and Ripple would be the best of it to be a technology. Now, again, I am very lucky that I have a really good connection at Bank of America, and Bank of America are implying this.
Partner.
Correct. Yeah. So I'm actually asking how they're doing that. So, because I've always said, what's the point, right? I've sat down and had this conversation with them privately, right? Met for coffee. And I've said, what is the point of this? I can move money, and I do. I've got bank accounts around the world. I can move money straight away, pretty much for free, with fraud guarantee, and I've got no issue with sending money around the world for free. Why do I even need it? And I had it explained to me, the benefits and the purposes and so on and so forth. And I thought, okay, I can see how this could, this technology, the blockchain network, the whole system it all sits upon, I can see how that's really useful. Okay. So I started to look at it, listen to Sensei and so on and so forth, and the rest is history. But I came to realize that.
When did you sit down with him?
Probably 3 years ago. It took a year to get Sensei on the show.
Okay.
Because I had to know, not because of him, he wanted to come on the show day one, but I had to build a relationship with him before I do that. I'm currently talking to half a dozen creators like you who want to be part of my network, and it takes me a while to know them before I go, yeah, come on. I don't know what they're going to do I? So, I learned from him, and he meets the people that build the projects. He goes to see the managers. He knows what we're talking about, right? And I've got ultimate trust for him now. He's great. But now I've learned from the banks what they're going to do with it. Mm-hmm. The real money and the real future of crypto is what it was supposed to be from the white paper of Bitcoin, not a thing we all buy and speculate and make money out of, even though that's what it's become. It's an industry that the institutions, the very people that we don't want nothing to do with, we want to be deregulated, we want to do what we want, no, we don't. We want to be regulated, we want to be organized, we want to be structured, because if we're organized and structured, it's a useful tool. And when it becomes a useful tool, which it's becoming now with XRP, right? Mm-hmm. Banks are going to use it, institutions are going to use it, governments are going to use it. We're all going to get a benefit from the system that works, so we can just send money to anybody we want immediately for free. We do giveaways on the show. At any moment, we call what you do, spin the wheel. I just give away $100 in XRP live on the show, and I send it straight away. You get it straight away. There's no expense at all. It's like 0.0001%. It's great. Okay, we love it. Really, really good. It's a great way to send money for charity and all sorts of stuff, right?
Yeah.
However, when it all settles down and it gets there, I made a prediction the other day, and I called my video XRP gone, right? I said XRP gone. It wasn't XRP going. I'm not saying XRP is going away tomorrow. If you watch the video, you'd have heard my argument, and me and Sensei discuss it. And good clickbait though. Yeah. Right? Let me just mention that. Let me mention that as you mentioned that. Our job is, if we've got a message, is to deliver that message, right? You are like you are like the guy who designs the book cover of a book or the billboard for a movie. Your job is to get people in to the theater or into the book or whatever. Bad clickbait is when you click on it and when you get in there, I'm talking about something else. Like if I've got a picture of a naked woman and going, it's all going to be a sexy video, and then there's me with my Christmas jumper on talking about Tilray, that's bad clickbait, right? I said XRP gone, and within the first 3 seconds told you what I meant by that and explained the future, will XRP exist? And what I said was, and Sensei agreed with me, and no one's more bullish than Sensei on crypto. He said, I agree with you that 99% of crypto will not exist in the future, because once it's now accepted by everybody and now it's a normal day-to-day system that everyone uses all the time, it's not sexy and rock and roll anymore. It's not the new funky thing anymore. 99% of all the crypto will just disappear, your fart coins and stuff like that. Who's going to bother with that, right? And then you'd end up with the Ripple network, which is RLUSD, not XRP, the native coin, right? That'll be the business, and how that makes money for Ripple and how it makes money for banks, because that's who they care about. When Ripple had designed this stuff, when Bitcoin, Satoshi, Craig Wright allegedly wants to be on my show, and I've said no. He's offered to be on my show. I said no, because he brings the BSV community and it all gets bonkers. I won't have him on the show. I wouldn't have Roland Kitty on the show either.
Is he going to stream from jail? Because I think he's going to jail.
Yeah, I wouldn't have him on the show if he paid me, right? So, and he's offered to do it. So I said no. So once the whole system settles itself down and we've got this working system, which we've got now with RLUSD, and it's going to expand, there's no need. It's like the gold rush. Once the beers came in and once all the system is set up, the gold rush is over. Right? There's no one running around digging up gold anymore. Don't need to. It's owned and it's regulated and so on. And it'll be the same thing for crypto. So, that's what it was for. That's what it was designed for, to be utility that we could use. So right now it's a speculative thing. Of course it is. XRP itself doesn't make any money. The Ripple network, the banks will make the money. The institutions will make the money. And that's why they invented it. They didn't invent it to bring you a coin that you can gamble your life savings on and get rich in 5 minutes. Brad Garlinghouse didn't do that. That's not why they brought this out. They brought this out because they believe it's the future of money and the way the system will work. And that is a benefit to humans' existence. It's a benefit to the institutions. It's a benefit to governments and the country, much bigger than me and my mate trying to get rich in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's not why they brought it out.
Interesting to hear your perspective. And I think the best analogy I've heard was Ripple and XRP are to what, to the crypto industry, is to what Exxon Mobil and oil are, right? So you got your Exxon Mobil, a company that uses the utility oil, and they're the biggest company, right? So it's the same thing. It's XRP is the oil, right? It's the digital asset, and
Agreed.
Ripple is the company. And
Agreed. What
they've said is, they, like you said, right? They want to work with the banks. They don't want to, like Brad Garlinghouse said it. They'll bring out the tanks and the guns before they allow you to, come in and destroy their sovereignty, right? So you have to look at the industry, where it's going, and like you said, Bitcoin, the original white paper said it was a peer-to-peer cash system, right? Payment system, and no one uses it for payments. So, but the Bitcoiners, the Bitcoin maxis will say, oh, but the Lightning Network, right? And then there's all this added. It takes away from what Bitcoin was originally designed to do, and it's centralized, right? With this Litecoin network or whatever. But at the end of the day, Ripple is a company working with the digital asset XRP, and they're trying to change how money works, right? It's the internet of value. So, to quote Brad Garlinghouse again, he said the quickest way for me to get on is to get on a plane with $10,000 cash and fly it to the UK, right? But I can't do it with technology, right? It takes 5 to 7 business days. So the use case there is huge, right, for global payments. And we'll talk on RLUSD in just a moment, in more specifics to that. But these cross-border payments, right? that is a huge, huge problem to solve. And you have to ask yourself, like, what are these cryptos? What problems are they solving? And what I want to try to find is the company or the company that's working with the digital assets that's solving the biggest problem. And I would say, cross-border remittances and cross-border payments, like bridge currency, is the biggest use case. Would you agree?
I would say that's the biggest challenge. Yeah, you're going slightly out of my field of expertise right now. I like to admit when I'm not the right person to answer that question rather than just make up one. Yeah.
I was just curious. Yeah. Had to take my my blazer off. It was getting pretty warm in here.
Yeah, I feel it's pretty hot here as well.
Fired up. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's great. I'm loving the energy. You're doing a great job, mate, by the way. Very good.
Thank you. Same, likewise. And then some people were commenting, oh, I love Martyn Lucas. He loves XRP. And then some people were saying it was the polar opposite. He said 1 minute it's the best thing since sliced bread, and now he's saying a 50% correction. So when you say 50% correction,
oh dear,
can you just clear that for the
yeah, absolutely. Look,
50% from the recent high of 290, or do you mean from
when it got to when we were at 260? 50%. Yeah.
So when it went to 290 and then came down to $1.90.
When it was its high last week, when we were telling people to trade it out and take their profit, I think there was a 30% drop there. It did like two or three times, bounced off $2 a couple of times or thereabouts. So there it was right there. So we were right. It did what we said it would. Didn't go quite 50%, but it did move.
Around $1.30, $1.40 is what you're kind of looking at.
Yeah. Okay. Now, but the specifics of that will come from my team from Sensei, right? I'm not going to challenge him on that because I'm more interested to know where it's going long term than where it is up and down in between the day. That's Sensei's job, not mine. So I won't answer that question. That's not my field of expertise.
Fair enough. Well, we did have this news out today. Ripple CLO, Chief Legal Officer, calling for an end to the 4-year SEC battle. There's been some rumors that the case could be settled today. Have you heard anything of that?
I haven't heard that today, no.
Yeah, it seems like every week they're saying it's gonna end, but it never does. So
yeah, no.
What do you think in terms of any idea, like any gut feeling? Do you think they're going to settle? Do you think they're going to dismiss the case altogether? What are your thoughts there?
At this stage, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. If I had a strong conviction on it, I would tell you. But if I'm not sure, I'd rather say I don't know.
Cool. Appreciate it. I appreciate the honesty. Well, Stuart Alderodi, the Chief Legal Officer, said today on this, actually yesterday, 4th anniversary of the SEC's lawless lawsuit against Ripple, Brad, and Chris. We urge the incoming administration to cleanse the lingering stain of Hinman from the agency. There's much more to do to repair the damage. Let's start by restoring trust. And they just donated as well. $5 million worth of XRP to Trump's inauguration. So
I want to go back to a comment you just made. I've just been thinking about an answer the last few minutes, just culminate my thoughts on that. You mentioned that some people say, 1 minute he loves it and next minute he doesn't, 50%. I want to be absolutely clear, right? This is really important because the people that say that are less than 1%. And they're the ones who don't read or watch the video. They look at the thumbnail. I know this because I can see it. We can do all sorts of reverse engineering on the people who watch and so on and so forth. And if you're not taking the time to listen to the argument, like we talked about the XRP Gone video, me and Sensei had, I think, a 20-minute, half an hour debate on it. And he agreed with me. And we had a good discussion. However, if you look at the thumbnail, it just says XRP Gone, and you're going, 1 minute you say it's going to go up, next minute it's going to go down. We're not children reading comic books. We're studying information. And I will say again on the record on your show, we are bullish on XRP. We like the technology, and we believe this is going to be the best in the field, right? We like it. However, it presents opportunity to take profit. And and all my members took profit. They all made 25, 30%, like 3 times. So don't say they were wrong, because they wasn't. So at the end of the day, I am extremely consistent on my messaging. I deliver the same principles every single day, live up to 12 hours a day. However, the market does move and the market does react. I believe in being proactive, not reactive, but being prepared to move. Like the other day when we had the reaction to the FOMC report, it was a good effort. It was a good report. Exactly like we said. We said there would be fewer rate cuts next year. I even called the bull market. I called the first rate cut. Did it all. That's not important. And you know, at the end of the day, it's an educated guess. Doesn't mean I knew. I didn't know any more than anybody else. Exactly. But I was right. But the point is, then the market overreacted by selling that big drop last week, and I went all in. And you saw what I did. I ended up, buying
33 shares or something.
Yeah, a ton shares of the S&P because I reacted to what happened. It doesn't mean all of a sudden I think the market is rubbish and terrible and whatever. You've got to be able to understand and move with it, but always be proactive and you're ready to be reactive, right? Yeah, not just what do I do now? I knew what I would do if this was going to occur. I said I would buy and I bought. So just because I say that XRP, we see it going down 50%, we believe that. That doesn't mean to say it's rubbish. This asset class does go up and down like a flipping yo-yo. It's the way it works.
We just dropped 34.5% from the highs of 290. So, an extra 15%. Not completely.
There you go. So if you sold it at the top and bought back, all you've done is accumulated more, right? Well, isn't that sensible?
Actually, let me get rid of some of these lines. It's actually a descending triangle that's forming here at the moment. We did have a weekly bull flag. We can take a quick peek at that. But yeah, you can see here that we are forming a bit of a descending triangle here as well. So you can draw it like that. And generally these break to the downside, right? It's just a series of lower highs and then a horizontal line of support. So, by that logic, it's saying we could see another leg down if that were to confirm, and that would put us around $1.73, which from the high of 290 would be about a 40% correction. So yeah, 50%. I don't think that's.
It's not a matter. In our opinion, in Sensei's opinion, who I go from the technical side of it, the fundamental side of it, talking to the Bank of America, talking to people. I want to get Brad on the show. It's very likely we'll have Brad on the show.
Yeah, awesome.
It would be great. I mean, look, this is really important, right? Is only in the XRP, only in the crypto field. This is really the issue. It's not on the issue of the S&P 500, Amazon, Microsoft, Google. No one ever sends me a scam email trying to sell me their share of the S&P. It's always XRP. No one ever gets mad at the price of Coca-Cola, but they get really mad at me if XRP goes up or down. And you said this, you said that. Listen, whether you like my show, whether you like me, whether you like the message, it's irrelevant. I'm not trying to make friends. I am just trying to do something I'm proud of.
Honest thoughts and opinions, yeah.
Yes, correct. And I'm not going to. Now we're on to XRP. I will show you this, and this is really, really important. If you can make me full screen a minute, I want to share this with people. So I recorded this here. So if I go over here and just refresh it, I mean, incognito mode, so I can't sway what I'm saying, right? This is incognito mode. I typed in Hoodstock. You see me type it in. I recorded it to show you, right? Hoodstock, rank number 1 in the world. There it is on YouTube. Incognito, just for Hoodstock. Exactly the same for XRP. Incognito mode, type it in, XRP. This was last night. And there it is. You saw Brad Garlinghouse scam video at the top. That's not him, of course. We'll talk about that in a second. But right under that scam video, as you can see, there we are. There's our video. Now, the reason why I'm sharing that with you, Brad, sorry, Rod, I beg your pardon. I think I was talking to Brad then. The reason why I'm sharing that with you is love me or hate me, love the message or hate the message. I am very good at reaching an audience, right?
Absolutely.
I can get number 1 pretty much on anything. Why? Because I work harder than anyone else and bring the content, right? And I'll go live all day long, every day. And I'll team up with the right people. I've made friends with you now. And you're fantastic with what you're doing. And me and you are going to grow together. You're going to grow. I'm going to grow. Sensei, Vaz is coming on my show.
Someone, I think Stacy, she said that Sensei would like to call in. So
Sensei can call in. He can call in through you or me. Yeah.
Do you want to just copy the link and?
Yeah. All right, I'll give it to Sensei right now. So Sensei, let me just Sensei, go into Discord I'm giving you the link for Rod's show, so you can actually call in on the same link that he sent to me. So, Sensei, I'll just give you the link now. This is great.
That'd be awesome. And just for context, a 50% correction from 290 would be around $1.44. But just keep in mind that back in the first week of November, we were at 49 cents, right? So even if we drop to $1.44, that's still 200% higher basically than we were at the beginning of November. So, I want to just stress to everybody that a 50% correction in crypto is not.
Can I, yes. Well, can I, as Sensei calls in, he'll be in a second, I'm sure. Can I just say on that point, while I was showing you that, first of all, you saw right at the top a video there. I showed you a video it's got like 40,000 people watching. They're not. They bought the views.
Oh yeah, the paid one.
Yes, it's Brad Garlinghouse AI saying, send in me some money and I will double it, right?
Yeah.
And that is number one. I'm not counting that. I'm right underneath that. And this is why I do what I do, because we want to get the right information out. Now, there are people who know more about crypto than I do. You do. Sensei does, but I know more about people that work there. I'm going to talk to Brad, right? Yeah. That's going to happen. So, you might not like the message or even like the messenger because what I notice is with the pro crypto people, not you, I can see it different altogether. Not Sensei, not 99% of our investors, but the 1% spoil it for everybody. Because what they do is they buy a coin, whatever coin it is, and in their head, they marry to it and say, it's going to go to $1 million based upon no evidence whatsoever. It's actually bonkers. It doesn't make any sense at all. It'd be the global, it'd be the GDP, the capitalization of the entire universe, the number they're coming up with, right? Absolutely stupid.
Or it's Shiba Inu, where they're like, oh, it's going to go to $1.
Just because it sounds good, right? It's stupid.
Yeah.
So, they don't like when I say something against that. Now, I said today, we had 130,000 people tuned in the other day for our XRP news. 130, we had the biggest audience. And I'm not a crypto channel at all. Wow. 130,000 people tuned us live for that because people were really excited about it. It was great. And we're going to grow from that. But being my friend, being part of the Lucasades, I'm trying to help you because if we can get the best people on the network, like today I'm talking to Rod, get Sensei, get Brad, get Elon Musk, and I will have these people on the show, then, through our network, we can get the right message to you because you don't want to be listening to that nonsense. That's not going to help you. You don't want me to say it's going to go to $1 million because the only benefit to that is me because I will get even more views and make even more money. Rod, if you said that today, because you're in this space, if you had information today that would say XRP is going up to $10 today, your views would go up on it. You'd get more subscribers, you'd make more money, but you'd be a complete liar and a fraud. Yep. And some people don't care about doing that. They just, I don't care. Whatever sells the video makes me money. I don't care. Well, I do care. So I'll take the flak. If you want to call in and tell me I'm an idiot because I said it was 1 minute it's up, next minute it's down. Well, it is up 1 minute and next minute it's down. But it's there to help you.
Yeah, to your point, like I've made a few videos on why, if you go to my channel, just type in XRP $14. I did make a video saying why I think 4 reasons why XRP is going to $14 to $16 this cycle, but it's, I give the timeline of around March, and I go over 4 major reasons. But if you take a look at these blue bars here, these fractals, this is actually the all-time history price index of Bitcoin, these blue bars. And if you look at the boom and bust cycles, it's not, the past always repeating but rhyming in other words. And you can see that the boom and bust cycles from the inception of Bitcoin, it's very similar to XRP. And you can see here the times where we did lag, usually there was like 3 massive God candles, right? And I said once we broke out of the symmetrical triangle, we were probably going to see a similar repeat to 2017. And then look at the size of this God candle here that's forming, getting caught up to that, and that's saying around $14 to $16. But again, that could be in March, and then it's saying about an 80% correction is what could be in store. I think XRP could hit $100 someday, but I'm not going to come on here and tell you it's going to happen anytime soon, right? That's probably going to be a long time out. And there was also some news here today as well. Bitstamp, and I know you're a big Robinhood fan, right? And
Yeah.
they're building, Bitstamp is to be acquired by Robinhood in 2025, and they're building a new derivatives exchange on the XRP ledger. So the utility is insane with this coin and with this ledger, and not to be confused with Ripple, the company, right? Ripple's not doing anything. It's being built on the XRP ledger. So, when you can remove, like when Ripple can just remove itself from the ecosystem and it's thriving, right? People are saying there's no developing on the XRP ledger. Like, well, what's this then, right? Like gaming, there used to be the XRP tip bot on X, right? Where you could go on Twitter and you could tip somebody 5 cents, 10 cents. How are you going to do that with Bitcoin? How are you going to tip them 5 cents, 10 cents when you can't do micropayments, right? The fee is going to be like triple the cost of a coffee at least, right? And that's just in low latency, like low congestion times, right? So yeah, this is huge news.
Wow,
with regards
that's interesting.
With regards to RLUSD though, I wanted to get your thoughts on a little bit more of that. Like obviously there's going to be the Great British Pound, there's going to be the Japanese yen, like an RLGBP, there's going to be an RLJPY. What are your thoughts on stablecoins in the US dollar? Do you think that stablecoins are going to strengthen the US dollar? For example, we'll use the US dollar as an example. Do you think it's going to strengthen or take away strength to weaken the US dollar?
Whew, blimey, that's a big one. Wow. I would say I think a lot depends on. We've seen how proactive Donald Trump is on all of this. He wants America to lead the world, doesn't he, on crypto and so on and so forth. Up to now, we've got with Gary Gensler and all, the previous administration, that was never going to happen, and now it looks like it is. I've just heard from Sensei, by the way. He's just 2 minutes away from tuning in. He's just setting his studio up, so you should get a call soon. I honestly, at the moment, I'm undecided which way that's going to go. I honestly don't know. I think that there's too much mistrust in the world. We should be one Earth. For crypto to work properly, we should be one Earth. It should be Earth versus Jupiter and Saturn or whatever, but it's not. And, we don't trust the Chinese don't trust us. Everyone, it's very difficult. Wouldn't it be awesome if there was one currency of the world, just one thing, but no one would ever agree to that. Like no one's ever going to agree to having I'm going to say we should all speak English. Yes, we should. Well, of course I am. Well, the Chinese are going to say, bugger that. We should all speak Chinese. Most people speak Mandarin than any other language. So why should you get your way, Englishman? Oh, hello, here's Sensei. So at the end of the day, I don't think there's enough trust in the world for that to really occur. But
I love that
Sensei. Yeah.
Hey, Sensei, can you hear us?
Here he is.
I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, here he is. You traitor. Look at you on somebody else's channel. You never said that. Well, we signed the contract. You said only your show forever. And here you are.
Unless he has permission, right?
Yeah. Here he is.
For, allowing me to be part of the interview. Great channel you have there, pal. And I'm proud to be one of your members now.
Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you very much for the support. We were just talking about the stable coins, specifically RLUSD, how it could eventually, be the RLGBP or the Japanese yen. And I asked Martyn his thoughts on, would stablecoins strengthen, for example, the US dollar stablecoin? Would that strengthen the US dollar? And he brought up the issue of trust, which I think is spot on. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that a stablecoin pegged to the US dollar, do you think that's going to be positive or negative for the US dollar? Do you think it's going to strengthen or weaken the US dollar over time?
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow,
that's
wow,
what I
wow.
felt. That's a hard one, isn't it?
You can see my background. I'm on full screen right now. You can see everything.
Yeah, we got your full reaction.
It's a loaded question. It's very, very hard to tell. I would imagine over time it would weaken the US dollar, but at the same time, I think it'll be a negligible amount, and I don't think it's something we should start speculating on at this time. I mean, I don't have many thoughts. Again, Martyn's better with the fundamentals of this sort of stuff, but again, it wouldn't be a question that would concerns me at this sort of time. I think it'll take a while for either to strengthen or weaken, and I don't think it'll be by a large amount anyway. I don't think Trump or any president would allow it to start weakening the dollar. I don't think that's what they I don't think that's what I don't think they'll let that happen. I think they want to be in control. So I don't think that will be the case. But just a couple points from I've been watching your interview. It's an absolutely amazing interview. Just to go back to just a couple points, if I may, Rod, if that's okay. Just to touch on a couple things. One was the 50% crash on XRP.
Thank you for saving me, Sensei. I appreciate it, mate. Happy Christmas to you. Love you forever.
Thanks, Martyn. Yeah, so that 50% crash, it was a very bold statement. It was a calculated statement. We had to think about it. We looked at the charts, and at the point where we brought out that video and brought. I basically told everyone what I was doing with my own money, not trying to give it into any financial advice. But I came out and I said I've taken profits. I said I didn't take all my profits. I said I took my initial out. And why did I do that? Was because I saw Bitcoin was looking bearish. Bitcoin had some bearish divergence on the daily, I think it was. Bitcoin was looking a little bit bearish. And I said, if Bitcoin corrects, XRP has been on such a nice run that, and I showed all the previous cycles. I'm not going to go into all the whole analysis of the video. I showed all the previous XRP cycles, and I said throughout XRP cycles, throughout Bitcoin cycles, in a bull market, that 1 year where it really starts heating up, there's been significant corrections on Bitcoin, 20 to 40% multiple times, and even on XRP's cycles. Works a little bit differently to Bitcoin. It's normally quicker, faster, and more exaggerated. But even in those XRP cycles, you see big corrections, even within that bull market. And I said this could be one of the first ones for XRP. And that was because Bitcoin was looking bearish, and I said XRP is a bit overheated, and we can be due a correction as well. So more likely than not, that's all we can say from charts. We can't say if it's definite or not. I said more likely than not, we're going to get a correction. And the thumbnail, the title included 50% crash, not as clickbait, but to draw those people in, to give that warning sign to, and then if you watch the video, I did mention that video, what would be more likely in the short term is a 25 to 35, 25 to 40% correction. Something in that realm can happen very easily, very quickly in the short term. And as we've seen, you just pointed out on the chart, we had a 35% correction on XRP from those highs. The reason I said it wasn't only because Bitcoin was looking bearish, it wasn't only because XRP was overheated, it's because it actually hit one of my first take profit zones that I've been building for the last 3 years of looking at XRP's price through Fibonacci levels. And you have to stick to your plan. My plan was I'm going to take out some of my initial, either to trade back in, buy some more, or just to take my initial out. And that was a few points. One was around $2.50 and the next one was around the $3. So I decided to take some profits. And then we had the 35% correction. And now to the tune of the 50% crash. As Martyn said, it's a matter of when, not if. If you look at the cycles, even during a bull market, XRP might correct 50%. But what's definitely going to happen, Rod, you seem to be well versed in crypto. You've probably been through a couple of bear markets. In a bear market, XRP is going to crash 50%. It is going to probably go down more. Bitcoin will probably crash 50% as well. So it is a matter of if, when, not if. So that 50% crash can still happen, but that might be in more the longer term. But we've already hit our target of $2. We went below. We had that 35% correction. Can it go down 50% tomorrow? Yes, it can. It's crypto. It's if Bitcoin corrects 20% tomorrow, XRP might correct 50%. So it can happen at any point. It is just putting that warning out there to all the new people that are coming in and holding XRP and thinking it's just up forever. No, we've been through this. Even during a bull market, there will be big corrections, and if you're not prepared for a 50% crash, and you think and you've just joined XRP when it's just continuously going up, then you're going to be in for a shock, and you're probably going to lose all your money. So we had to put out a bold statement like that. Yes, and if you watch the video, we've already got our target of 35% correction. But if you're not prepared for a 50% correction on XRP, then this isn't the place for you, because this is a volatile market, and that will occur. It might occur next week, and it might, and it'll definitely, if not next week, it'll definitely occur in that bear market as well. So we had to put out that statement, and we took a lot of flack for it. But if it makes people open up their eyes and see what's happened in previous cycles and see what occurs,
and to your point here,
then
to your point, in 2017, 2018, before the final last wave, it pulled back almost 70%. So it was about 67%, a little over, that we pulled back in a bull market before that final wave and leg higher. And I've actually got a sell target. So if you just go to my channel and type in XRP exit plan, my first one's at $4. So I know a lot of people really enjoyed that video. And again, that kind of plays into your reason why you're buying, and what, figuring out your goal and your strategy before you buy something, right? What is your exit plan? What is your entry plan? Are you dollar cost averaging? All of these things are very important to know, right? But yeah, I think especially for the newcomers, if you're not familiar with crypto, we can absolutely pull back 40 to 60% in a bull market, right? When something goes up hundreds of percent in a very short period of time, whether it be weeks or matter of months, it can absolutely pull back 20, 30% easily, right? So I agree with you on that. I appreciate the added color on that. You said you were going to touch on something else, I believe, as well. Was one other thing you said?
I can't really remember. The other thing that resonated with me was you speaking about Tesla back in 2018 and 2017. I was actually in the exact same boat as you. I was watching. I was a big believer in Tesla back then. When they were losing money and everyone was hating on it, and everyone was. Do you remember the big shorts on Tesla? All that sort of stuff. All the FUD that was being put out there, all the fake news.
They do that with every company that's going to change the world, I think.
Yeah.
Look at Amazon, right? Or
the whole XRP. I mean, in this bear market as well, everyone was hating on XRP, and now everyone loves XRP. Yeah. So it's I think I'm more of an investor like you, Rod. I do like to try and find these companies that are changing the world. However, I think what's great about Martyn is he shows that you can do it in a much less stressful way. You can, if you learn to make money, earn your money, and put it to work in a very sensible way, that is just as good of a way of investing. And that's why I love partnering with Martyn, because we share ideas to each other, and we cater to different types of audiences, and put those two ideas together, I think is so yeah. Excellent. That's the other thing I wanted to mention. But, yeah.
Just want to say I was right. The Santa rally is kicking off now. Made the prediction this morning. If you look at my screen,
if you want to go full screen,
if you want, yeah, there you go. So this is my portfolio.
Back in the green.
Yep, back in the green. Studio's turned green, and obviously I'm now in a lot more. As you can see, there's just under $250,000, 101 margin, 205 is my holdings, Roth IRA. And I mean, you can't get more bullish than that. I mean, my margin level is more than my first house that I bought. But there you go. But yeah, extremely confident in that. The bull market. Let's just remind ourselves that the Santa rally is the last 5 days, trading days, and then the first 2 days. And you've only got to look at the fundamentals. You've only got to look at what's being said at the conference. And the way the markets reacted and oversold it, the hidden languages there, the rate cuts that we knew we wouldn't get loads next year. We don't want loads next year. A couple will be good. If we get an extra one, that's nice because we're doing extra well. But it's a good time to be in the market. And like Sensei said, you don't have to take really crazy risks to make great gains. If your aim is to get rich in 5 minutes, then you should play a casino really rather than the stock market. But if you've got a period of time, my portfolio will be $1 million by the end of the decade, minimum. Probably way exceed that. But
and does your studio automatically turn green whenever your portfolio turns green?
It could do if I programmed it that way. But there's no need to overcomplicate things unnecessarily.
What, the 20 screens wasn't enough?
Yeah, the 20 screens. There's about 8 cameras. There's piano. There's monitors. Awesome. It's pretty ridiculous.
I can't wait for my birthday. It's going to be great.
Oh, yeah. Because it's
Coming
your
up soon.
birthday, you'll get a birthday song, and you can clip it. And if you and just because it's you, Rod, right? Because this is a special occasion, right? If you've got an occasion for your partner, wife, mum, dad, whoever, someone special to you,
Awesome.
let us know that day, and we'll do a special tribute. And you can clip under the video and own the video, and you can get to keep it. And we'll commemorate, we'll celebrate whatever it is with a suitable song, and you can get to keep the video.
Excellent. Appreciate that. Well, we'll try to wrap up here. We'll jump into the chat. Maybe this was a question. This will be a question for Sensei. What are your thoughts on other cryptos? I know we're big on XRP. There's been some news out. We were talking about Tesla briefly. So SpaceX, Hedera Hashgraph has partnered with SpaceX to redefine space innovation. There's been some partnerships with Hedera as well with Intel and NVIDIA. They're going to be unveiling the verifiable compute, the first hardware-based solution to govern and audit AI workflows. So that's a huge partnership there in and of itself. What are your thoughts on Hedera, HBAR?
Yeah, I like HBAR. I think this news is obviously very, very bullish, and I think HBAR is one of those tokens that I forgot what it's called. It's the ISO. What are those tokens called, Rod?
ISO 2022. Yeah.
Yeah, one of those tokens. I think it's I think that's a good basket of coins, and based off that news, when I first sort of discovered it, I don't know, what was that, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, HBAR was one of them, and it's been performing well, and I like to see continuous updates from those tokens, and HBAR is continuously innovating and doing good things. So yeah, I'm bullish on HBAR, but
Okay,
again,
cool.
most of my portfolio in crypto is in XRP, not only because that's the one I was buying the most of, it's also gone up the most in value, so it's really, and I haven't trimmed off that much, so it's really overtaken. So HBAR is another one of those tokens I like.
Yeah, and the new administration has said that they're looking at exempting capital gains tax on American issued cryptos, and even the new administration has been rumored to be buying XRP and HBAR. So a quick list of issued cryptos in the US would be XLM, XRP, Algo, HBAR, Quant. I think that was, I might have missed one, maybe Cardano or something like that. But thoughts on that? Like, do you think that that's going to come to fruition?
Yeah, my ears just pricked up when you said that. I'm like, hello. This is what I'm interested in now. You telling me that crypto is going to be able to be traded tax free?
That's what they're saying in the US. Yep. But guess what? We don't know who created Bitcoin. So technically, how do we know where it comes from? So a big cloud right now is
that would be very interesting if you started having that where you could trade crypto for free. Well, not for free, but you could take capital gains. If it's going to be a cash
system, right? If it's going to be a peer-to-peer monetary system, like why are we being charged a capital gain on a currency?
You see, the government wouldn't allow that. That's why there's a limit to the Roth IRA, and you got $8.5 grand in the US. And this year starts again in January. Of course, they're going to start the new Roth IRA. I would expect it to be $8,500. If you had crypto, which you can trade on your brokerage account, which is taxable, tax-free, the taxman would lose a lot of money because people will just go bonkers on it. They'll go, why buy the S&P 500? I can just buy XRP up and down 50% every few days and never pay any tax. Oh my God, that would be interesting.
There's ways to do it, like I Trust Capital. You can invest in them tax-free, right? In the US. In Canada, we have a TFSA, so a tax-free savings account. So you can buy an ETF, which there's now Bitcoin ETFs, Ethereum ETFs. There should be an XRP one, HBAR one, probably in 2025.
Yeah, but individual coins is a whole different ball game.
That's I can't see that happening. We'll see.
Yeah, that's basically making the casino free to enter. There's no age restriction. Anyone can come in with any amount of money, any limit, do what you want. Yeah, that would send the whole thing bonkers.
Yeah, and I'll go back to the question of RLUSD as well. So the stable coin, I can understand that because you're not appreciating in value, right? And it's pegged to the dollar. And to kind of go over my thoughts on that, like we mentioned SpaceX, and we mentioned Tesla, we mentioned a lot of Elon's companies. If you think about where the world's going and with Starlink, eventually I think the use case of stablecoins is going to be massive for the US dollar and other fiat currencies around the world, especially, you know, the big four, because a lot of people, you know, especially in, you know, third world countries, they want to own the US dollar, but they don't have a bank account, or there's too many fees associated with it and they're just unable to. And with the great thing about a stable coin is it's pegged to the US dollar, so it's backed by reserves, right, that are transparent and auditable and the highest regulation out there. So if you have a smartphone, and there's places now in the world where you can get Starlink for free in rural areas and remote areas, as long as you have a smartphone, you can buy the RLUSD, which is going to strengthen the US dollar. But I like what you said, Martyn, is it's a trust thing, right? So why I think, you know, XRP is needed as gas on the ledger to initiate these transactions with RLUSD. I won't get into the whole nuts and bolts, but XRP is needed to facilitate those stablecoin transactions. At the end of the day, though, like countries aren't going to want to transact country to country or government to government with a stablecoin, in my opinion, because they'll be strengthened in the US dollar, right? It's pegged to the dollar. And then
which means
if you own XRP, it's open source. It's also RLUSD is also centralized by Ripple. They control it, whereas XRP is just open source. There's no governing.
But with every strengthening of a currency, another currency loses strength.
Right.
Right.
But I don't think it's necessary.
And why? Who are the people saying? I always hear Americans say other countries want the dollar.
Well,
you just said that.
Maybe not anymore, but it's been something that.
No, but what I'm saying is, we say that, and in America, we like to live in our little bubble, right? Think the whole world's America, the whole world, whatever. You know, going back to the British Empire, the whole world should be British, right? We like to think of these things. I've traveled the world, and let me tell you, I have never spoken to anybody that wants that for their country. I don't know I don't know en masse people in Africa or Ethiopia or Uganda or Egypt want to own the dollar. Businesses might do,
right?
For obvious reasons, but individuals, no. It's like everyone thinks that everybody wants a green card. They want to come to America. I only came here because of my wife, right? It wasn't for a better life. I got a great life in England. I'm perfectly fine where I am. I did it because I met my wife and she's American. So it's very easy to think that everybody wants the dollar. And I don't think everybody does at all. You know, people want what's theirs and what makes them feel it's part of their tribe. So just be careful thinking that you know, a network that's based upon that principle, everybody's going to want it to buy into that. And that's going to make us all rich.
I was just using that as a way to like differentiate the two because a lot of people are thinking that RLUSD is going to replace XRP, which doesn't even make sense because you need XRP, the native coin, to facilitate the transactions as part of the gas on the network, right? So anything can be tokenized on the ledger, on the DEX. But my point with that was, you know, a lot of these countries, third world countries, they want to own because they have some sort of, you know, if it's Argentina, they're going through some sort of hyperinflation. So it's a way for them to get into a more stable currency. And like, for example, myself here in Canada,
now
you know, it's
made the point.
It's a safe haven, right?
The companies that so far, the countries adopting Bitcoin were all bankrupt. You made a good point. It was to get us out of a problem. We want to buy into this. We want to buy into the American system. We can get rich and we can help ourselves.
Yep.
Other countries who don't have that issue with being bankrupt are not piling into that idea. They want to have their own identity. And I think, and you know, this is the thing. Technology is great. Making money and all these things are great. But human beings are what is what underpins everything, right? Human beings is what drives everything. And greed and selfishness is how this works. And governments aren't going to give up power. The dollar is the currency of the world because of the guns and the power behind it, which enforce the dollar. It's not like be our best mate. You're made to have. That's why China want to change that. China don't want the US dollar to be the world currency. They want it to be their currency. So it's not everybody wants to buy into the American dream. The Americans do. Of course we do. Buy our stuff, right? Yeah. The rest of the world doesn't give a damn about that. right? They're forced to by being held down. So we need to remember that, you know, a global currency, until we're all one, which will never be.
No, I think there'll be lots of stable coins. I think, you know, having XRP, a lot of people are asking me as well, like, what's the difference? What's the benefit of RLUSD? Is it going to replace XRP? Well, if you're in a profit of XRP, if you bought XRP at 40 cents and it's now at $3, well, you're probably thinking, like Sensei was saying, and like I said earlier, that, you know, if we go to $14 to $16 on XRP this cycle, we could easily pull back 80-90%. So the benefit of having a stable coin is that you can sell out of your XRP, go into RLUSD, and in theory, it should be the same, you know, over a period of an 80%.
The benefit of RLUSD is we finally deliver the monetary system that the institutions and the bank want. And they will make money. The government will make money. You don't make, like we just said, you don't make money from buying a RLUSD. It's pegged to the, what's the point? And Sensei brought out, it's hilarious. There was actually somebody who did that. Sensei said on the show,
$1,200.
Yeah, what a bloody idiot! What an absolute idiot! It's worth $1.
I think he thought he was buying an NFT or something.
What was he doing? What was the point? Anyway, absolutely bonkers. I got the first one. Well, what is the first one? I did a string of code. Well, can you identify it as the first one? Well, first one what? It's not anything physical. What are you talking about? But yeah, you know, it's going to make. At the end of the day, the system always wins. The house always wins. That's how it works. That's capitalism. Since the beginning of time, the money will always come back to the rich. The poor will always be poor. That's how it works. So I'm okay with that, because whether you like it or not, unfair or not, that's the way the world is. And if you don't play the game, you're not going to win. And that's the game we're playing. So you've got to play it. So all of this stuff will benefit the institutions and the banks and Elon Musk and everybody else at the top pulling all the strings. I don't think we should be banking on that to make ourselves any money.
Yeah. And if you remember, the first tweet was an NFT, sold just under $3 million. So I guess if nothing else, this person can, have a little bit of a trophy to go off of. So
yeah,
it wouldn't be me though. You wouldn't catch me buying them.
If I may ask you, Rod, the question that you just mentioned as well, and I keep getting it as well, the question of RLUSD versus XRP, that basically makes XRP worthless. My thoughts are behind it are, and I wonder what you seem to be well versed and you do a lot of research. I wonder what your thoughts are on that question as well, because I know a lot of the viewers, that's their main question since RLUSD has been come up. One of the things I say is, firstly, as you mentioned, the gas fees. There is always XRP has to be burnt a little bit for every transaction. But what I've been saying is that's a very negligible amount. I don't think that's going to have a big effect on the price of XRP. I don't think that's ultimately very bullish. It might be bullish in terms of one thing I like to focus on more than the actual fundamentals is the sentiment that produces a nice sentiment that helps XRP's price. The people that just come in and speculate and push the price of XRP up, they're gonna run with that, and they can use that, and they can be my guest because they'll end up being exit liquidity. But what I've been saying is, yes, that's a part of it, but I don't think it's that important. What it's going to bring in my opinion, is the banks that are skeptical of using XRP because it's volatile or they have concerns. It's a cryptocurrency. It's not audited. They don't know what they're very skeptical about it. They're going to be more open to using something that's backed, pegged, audited at monthly to the US dollar. They're going to start using that, and then they're going to start seeing the benefits of moving over and maybe experimenting, or once they're in talks with Ripple and they're doing big payments, then Ripple's going to suggest them, we've also got XRP, faster, lower fees, and then they're going to start using XRP. Is that one of your same thoughts you have?
Yeah, I think so. And they're also into custody, right? So it's basically a one-stop shop for all of these, these companies. They might come in looking for custody solutions or cross-border payments, or, whatever their goal might be. If it's real-world assets, tokenizing RWAs. I think the biggest, to your point, I think it will be used for payments. RLUSD, I think mostly for domestic payments. I think would be the biggest use case, because like I said, to go back to what Martyn said, it's a trust thing. I just can't imagine one country wanting to send RLUSD to another country when, you're basically propping up the dollar when you could just use XRP, right? It settles in roughly the same amount of time, 3 to 5 seconds. So if you look at an XRP chart and say, count to 5, the price doesn't even move. So volatility isn't really there. So we don't need to worry about, having a stable value when it settles so quickly. If it was Bitcoin, it'd be a different story. But they're going to want to have that open ledger to verify. Like these countries just don't trust each other. So I think it's going to be more of like the wholesale back end versus like the retail front end. I think, your retail type of transactions will be more for those domestic payments, like with RLUSD. Which, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. I think especially that they haven't been able to really. I think only 5% of their business, Ripple's business, has been in the US yeah. because of the whole lawsuit. So again, that's their home. That's probably where they want to do a lot of their business. And I think RLUSD will help facilitate a lot of that domestic
Agreed.
business. And as you said, XRP might be better for international payments for the reasons you mentioned. But again, I think if it just brings more people onto the Ripple ecosystem, onto the Ripple on the XRP blockchain, no matter what it is, they're going to be exposed to Ripple solutions for multiple things, which they're going to continue growing. And ultimately, I think that will expose people to XRP, the XRP blockchain, and that's why I'm bullish on XRP. But again, Ripple, the company as well. I mean, there's been ways to buy shares. You have to be an institutional sort of investor. What was it, through
accredited?
Uphold,
yeah.
Or what was it through?
Yeah. You can do it through Link2
and stuff like that. Yeah. I think Ripple will IPO after this lawsuit. I don't know what you think as well. Do you think that will work? When Ripple IPO?
2025 should be the year of IPOs. I think
that's where the business is.
Yeah. Ripple will be what?
That is the business,
too, right?
That's what you should be investing in. Yeah.
Like this coin is
why did Brad Garlinghouse why did we all sit around and create this? So people can get rich speculating on a coin up and down? No, that's not what gets the company out of bed in the morning. They don't care about speculators guessing on a price, right? They built something. They saw Bitcoin, what it could be, but it wasn't. They built something better. They want to do business with institutions and banks and governments, and they're not bothered about Binky Bonk and all of us buying XRP. They're not bothered, right? And that's the business. I would like to see Ripple stock, and I'd like to see Ripple then enter the S&P 500, which was where I would natively own it. That would be great. Now that's an investment I can get behind.
I think Ripple will become, I don't know how long, obviously, but I strongly believe that Ripple will be the most valuable company in the world, given enough time. And, XRP,
why do you say
XRP
that?
Will be, well, we're dealing with all the money, right? Like you're talking about changing how money works. The Internet of Information was huge. Look at what it did to your Apples and your Googles of the world, Amazons, but we're going into the Internet of Value, which, we're talking about all stocks are going to be traded on the blockchain, settled on the blockchain eventually. So every time you do a stock transaction, if it was on the XRP ledger, there'd be a small amount of gas fee for that, right? Not just the stablecoin. You can tokenize anything. You can do stocks, bonds, anything, derivatives. We talked about the new exchange. So there's so much potential and then also, like I said, Ripple has custody solutions. They have so many different arms of their business, and XRP, I think, will become the most valuable digital asset in terms of market cap, not price, right? I don't think XRP is ever going to hit $100,000 like Bitcoin.
I think there's a limit to that, though. I think there's a limit to your statement, though, about the biggest and all the rest of it. I think the US, if the US government are supporting it like they are now, right?
Well, I think that's why they
will end up they'll end up controlling it or owning it. It'll become part. I would expect to see when this all settles down. Maybe not in my lifetime. I'm 55. I'm not older than all you guys, but at some point, we will have probably, more than likely, crypto. We won't have a cryptocurrency of the world, one thing that we all share, because people just can't get on. We can't get on with our neighbors, let alone another country, right? So I think we'll probably have a digital currency for each nation. There'll be a USD, full on, that'll be it, run by the government, backed by the Fed, blah, blah, blah. There'll be a Bank of England, we'll do one for England. There'll be the Bank of Canada, the Royal Bank of Canada, and that'll be it. And we'll be just the same, like we are now with fiat. With digital, and that'll be it.
I agree.
That's the end game.
100%. I agree.
That's a long time away.
All right, last question. What about Bitcoin? What are your thoughts on the whole Satoshi Nakamoto not knowing who created Bitcoin?
Well, I do apparently, because Craig Wright asked me to come on the show. He knows. He did it. Apparently, I don't believe it. As soon as I alluded to Craig Wright coming on the show, the whole BSV crazy went nuts. People I was invited into a Twitter space to talk to the BSV community because I was going to have Craig on the show, and I didn't know as much as I do today about crypto, and knew a lot less then. And but I was talking to Craig, right? So people had to have me on the show because he's talking to Craig. Get him on the show. So I went in. Oh my God, it was like going into a lion. I was like a little tiny mouse walking into a lion's cage. People ripping my head off. This guy's a bloody idiot. He doesn't know what I'm talking about. And the admin goes, look, he's talking to Craig. Can we all be polite and nice, and because we can all learn? And I said, guys, if I may say, because I'm about to leave, because I'm not in for all this nonsense. I said, this is why you're going to fail, because you're all married to this asset and you're all aggressive. And unless anyone agrees with you, they're all stupid. Right. Yep. And this is why you're going to fail, and why Craig looks an idiot. I won't have him on the show because this is nonsense. We need healthy conversation, because if you've got some knowledge about what it is that I don't know, if you let me ask the question, I will learn. But I'm not just going to buy into nonsense. Give me information and we can learn. No. I said goodbye. I put the phone down. I walked away. I ain't never going back.
But doesn't it concern you though, not knowing who created it? Like Homeland Security, there was a video of them saying they met with the 4 Satoshis, and I don't want to get shadow banned or anything like that. But like, what are your thoughts on this? Like, what would you say to somebody who's investing in Bitcoin and we still don't like? Are you concerned about that? Are you not concerned? Do you think it's a good thing?
I am very concerned about it. Yeah. I would not buy it. I owned it. I took profit from it. There was a big bull market. I was following Sensei for all the charts. I made some money. I think I made 124%. Brilliant. I still was I managed overall to pay the tax loss because other things, so I didn't pay tax on it, but I used it to put in the S&P. I wouldn't buy it. No, I wouldn't. And I understand it can't go to zero. I used to say that. I used to say it can go to zero, and it can't go to zero because I'm a human being. And I don't know how many times I had about $20,000, I think, or $10,000, I forget now, on my ledger. And I don't know how many times I wasn't quite sure where my ledger was. And I thought, well, and I'm really organized. And I'm thinking, how many people are losing their ledgers? How many people are doing this? So, people are. They lose their key phrases and all the rest of it. So I honestly believe.
This says it all right here.
Huh?
This look says it all right here.
What's he saying? What was the question?
Scottie Pippen says he claims to have met Satoshi back in 1993, and Michael Saylor just about near pulled a few neck muscles by the looks of it.
That is a really that's interesting that you show that.
Watch it right here.
Yeah. Yeah, look at that.
It's like, I will end you where you sit.
Yes.
Stop.
That must. Yeah, I mean, that must scare the hell out of. Yeah, because
how could you? You have a fiduciary duty to, like, how could you say to Microsoft and like to Amazon to invest hundreds of millions of dollars and billions of dollars? Like, can you imagine buying, like, I don't. It's hard. It can't even really compare to a company. It's like buying Apple and not knowing who created it. But
it is
comparing a company to a utility. But
it's a problem that I've been saying since I've been in crypto for about six years. It's, yes, Bitcoin's going to perform well until it doesn't. There is a risk that people don't talk about enough, and that is, who is Satoshi? Yes, it's always been a joke, and Satoshi's our hero, and Bitcoin maximalists will absolutely
just weird.
To Satoshi and do all sorts of things. But
that video there is amazing. Watching his face, I've never seen Michael Saylor look like that. I'm glad you've shared that. I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's two faces. It's one, like he's probably not. He's probably what's a nice way of saying? He's probably lying about he's met Satoshi or whatever. That's that face.
Just trying to get a ruse out of him.
But it also brings up the problem of, if Satoshi comes out, if that wallet moves, if he dumps it, that is a risk. Satoshi can bring out that wallet. If that wallet has a tiny bit of movement, that will crash the whole crypto market. But again, that's an issue.
And it will never recover.
Or Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy stop buying and they start selling.
Yeah, it will
It'd be
never
a cascading effect. Like
it will never recover.
What was
Bitcoin
it?
was-
It was Kevin O'Leary that said, "Grown men will weep." When
Yes.
this is all said and done.
Yes,
And,
it will
that's
never
the
recover,
scenario.
because if
Yeah.
suddenly your money goes vroom like that, you're not going to go, it's now on sale, I'm going to buy it again. No way would you come back and go, I'm going to buy it again, because you know it can happen again. Once it's happened once, you won't do it again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that would scare the hell out of me.
Shout out to Mike. We'll jump into the chat here a little bit. We got Kazansky. We got your back, buddy. So I think that's part of the Lucas.
These are all the Lucas mate. Team Fusion. Yeah. He's a member.
Oh, that was earlier. Got that all sorted out. Mr. Mankey says my calls are up $2,000 right now. Pow, Tilray all the way. We've got a bunch of comments coming in. I don't know if I'll be able to get through all of these, but Lucas Aids assemble.
Can I answer some of the questions? Because I'm good at that.
Sure, go
I
ahead.
built my channel on that, answering everyone's questions. Let me have a look here. Yeah. Stephen Lewandowski. Hi, I'm Zach. Home, still not much sleep today, only napping a bit. They just went to the Lucas A party a couple of days ago. Zach Zate, one of our big members here. I'm working the yard, enjoying the amazing conviction. Let's have a look down at what he's saying about the show. Sensei, sightless. He loves Sensei. Kazansky, Flash, and Mobix down over 30%. They are today. Satoshi Nakamoto, James 007. What would happen if Satoshi Nakamoto wallet became active? Well, if it suddenly went to zero, if it suddenly sold off, it would never go up again. Tilray 145, Thomas Morrow, one of our members. Superb call. Just so everyone's clear, I don't ever do options. I never short the market ever. I own the business. That's it. Simple as that. Strone Corbett, one of our members. Pow! He likes you. He thinks you're great. I have to say, because obviously I can sense we're coming to the end of the interview. I want to say the best part of today, other than meeting you, Rod, is having Sensei on the show, because I love it. Because this whole thing is not about me, right? I've done everything I've ever wanted to do. I've had more than I ever deserve. I've had the most amazing life. And whenever I get an opportunity to do something and my friends come with me, I'm glowing inside. When seeing Sensei sit there, now he's on this show, I love it. I love it. It's the best thrill in the world to me. And I hope Sensei one day takes over my show, because I won't be here forever. And you, Rod, you'll do really well. I love seeing it. I love seeing all these younger guys coming in doing it. It's wonderful to see. And listen, guys, at the end of the day, if you are an investor, whichever way you are, right? Don't be a gambler, right? Be an investor. I own the casino. I don't play the casino, right? I own the casino. The biggest, my channel will make me more money than my investment. Now, that's the reason why I say that is everyone should have the channel. You all need an income. The stock market is not supposed to be the way to get rich. You are the way to get rich, because you earn money and you invest it. And whether you have $1 or $1 million, right? The percentages are the same. Focus on you, whether you sell lemonade on a corner stand or have a YouTube channel. It doesn't matter what you do. You are the number one driver of all of this. Your education, your discipline, your income, and then you invest it. Don't gamble it. And if you consistently win and you never lose, you'll outperform everybody else. And even if you don't, doesn't matter what everybody else does. It only matters what you do. It's not about getting to the $1 million on my journey. It's the journey and the person it makes me become for the next 7 years to do that. And the experiences I've had to get there. Who the hell cares when I get to $1 million? What am I going to do? Buy a Ferrari? No, I don't need anything. I've got a house. I don't need anything. I can't buy a $1 million camera for the studio. What am I going to do? Just be nice. It's the journey every day, doing the right thing, and it's very exciting to do it. And it's exciting building something. But remember, investing, if you're doing it right, should be boring.
Yep.
It should be boring, because growing money every day, doubling, multiplying, is just a continual thing. And it's like we said today, we'd sell off this morning, and we did, and the Santa rally would start. It is. I'm up now $415 at this precise moment, looking great. But remember,
Yeah, the saying I think is investing should be a lot like watching grass grow.
yes,
And if you want more excitement, then take $500 and go to Vegas.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely right. And
Tilray and XRP rockets. Love my Tilray and XRP fam. Where are you at in the chat? Are you still going through it?
No, I got to the bottom. Also, there's some more. Any thoughts on Soundhound? Yeah, we love Soundhound on the show. One of our top stocks we like. XRP long term hold past 2025. This has been great. Stacey Bailey, she's loved it. James, it's been a great interview. Thank you to everyone. I want to thank you, Rod, for hosting this and allowing me and my mate Sensei to come on and destroy your channel. Never be the same again now, mate. That'll be it. People will be unsubscribing left, right, and center.
Well, shout out to Humberto. I follow both channels and both tell me the truth, not what I want to hear.
Oh, that's it right there.
Love it. Appreciate the support, Humberto. What else we have here? Subscribe to Martyn Lucas. Absolutely. So yeah, where can they find you at, Sensei and Martyn? How can people follow you?
Sensei's one of the family who's exclusive on my channel. Soon to be maybe half a dozen Senseis. Okay. Sensei will always be the king. Don't worry, Sensei, you'll always be the king, mate. But yeah, we're all on one place. We're all one channel. There you go. There's my channel. Look. There you go. I got 3. We got a network. This is the biggest one, the music one. If you just scroll down where you are right now, so if you scroll down, there you go. You can see Sensei's channel. You can see my music. Sensei doesn't do much on his channel, but it is there anyway. He does it all on my channel. But there's Martyn Lucas, my music channel, the extra channel where we're live 24 hours a day, and the main channel where you are right now. So yeah.
I just popped it into the chat there as well. Your main channel.
Oh, thank you very much. And if they click on the name and the title, that takes you right there as well. Right. Exactly. Of your video right now, I'd gave you a top tip there, didn't I, mate? You didn't know about that one, did you? We found out something too with the redirect feature today, so that was great. Yes, it's a really good feature, that is. Yes. All right. I'm not an expert, but tells you to sell your bags. Not sure what he's talking about there, if it's XRP or Tilray, but maybe some bad blood there. Every channel has to have a troll, Mike. Oh, mate. Oh, my God, I've got thousands of them. Troll. Yeah. Yep. When you doing something right. As you grow, once you hit the 10,000, it starts to really multiply quickly. Yeah. We were at, what are you now, Rod? What you're at 8,000, 8.5. Yeah, 8,500. 8.36. Yeah. Thousand. Very good. And then very good. We also had 007 comment. I wonder what POW stood for. It's prisoner of war, actually, according to Mark. Absolutely, and I'm going to stick to it. It's pursuit of wealth. No, that's too boring. Prisoner of war. Prisoner of war it is. It's like Sensei. He tries to do a show on Sunday. I call it Cash in the Attic. Completely destroys it, but everyone loves it. See? You might offend some people, though, so you got to be careful these days. Yeah, always offend somebody. What a great interview. Mate. Yep. Whole market is down. Okay, we're going to ban this user here because they don't really seem to have anything positive to say. So. Oh, hello. What's that? I missed it. What was it? I didn't see Christopher Moody or something like that saying nothing good. Merry Christmas, absolutely. He's saying Merry Christmas to Christmas Moody. That's funny. I apologize to everybody in the chat. I didn't expect hundreds of comments, so we'll get through. We'll have to go through. You got the Lucasades, mate. What do you expect? I told you this was going to happen. Very much, Drone. Absolutely. We got the Walthers in the house. We got the Lucasades. We got Lucasade. Smash the like button for POW. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Stacy. Yeah, we had over 100 people at one point. We were sitting at, I think, 110 at one point. So I appreciate everybody tuning in on your holiday. If you started holidays, I'm actually off for 16 days. So I'm pretty excited. Lazy that is. I'm taking no time off. I've got a newborn. She's I don't need that. No, that's rubbish. You're like Sensei. He got married. You never see him anymore. Sunday show. You're lucky if he does the Sunday show now. Always on holiday. I'm sitting in here 12 hours a day. And I could add you two together and you'd still be younger than me, right? What's wrong with you? Bloody get on with it. I'm having 12 days off. Why do you need 12 days off? 16, actually.
just really want to paint
days. How can you afford 16? I can't afford 16 days off.
Yeah.
You're making too much money.
I just really want to paint a cool mural on Pow's wall. That'd be awesome. But I might not be here staying at this condo for very long. So we'll have to get your fantastic artwork whenever I'm more permanently situated. Where's MSK? He's got along famously with Moody. Not sure what that is. We're talking about Moody now. Smash the like. Let's get to at least 60. Appreciate that. I think we pretty much hit everything here. We'll go through Sensei becoming a new member. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't appreciate that. Yeah, if he's spending money in your channel, that's putting less resources into his studio. I'm not impressed with that. He's got too much money.
Yeah. Somebody's ever interested in becoming a moderator, just let me know. We can make that happen. Sylvia says Rod is great, and Lucas as well. Thank you very much. I agree. You got multiple people agreeing. Go Rod.
If you trust me.
Absolutely. Well, I don't see I seen your member. Did you actually comment in the chat though? Or can I make it? Can I make you a moderator from no, I don't think I can.
I've just commented.
Oh, I want to try that. Oh, hello, Rod. I'd love to be a moderator.
How do I?
Oh, hang on. I'm in the wrong channel. That's my extra channel. Hang on. Switch account.
Maybe I have to do it from the.
I think you click on our name and you just press.
Yeah, you click on the name. Right, click the name.
I think it's because I'm not on the actual YouTube chat. I'm on the streaming software. So if I go to Sensei, hit add as moderator. There we go. Which one's the best, standard or managing? Standard or managing?
Well, you do standard for your standard moderators, and the ones who do a bit more are your managers. That's up to you.
Can manage block words chat. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Perfect. Appreciate that. Pick me.
Yeah, pick me. Right, click me.
You've been picked. All right, we're good.
Have you? Hang on then.
I just added.
Let me have a look. I'll check it. There it is. Look at that. I've never been a moderator before. I'm a moderator. I love it. Oh, hang on. It says you're now a moderator for the channel. The creator trusts you to help them build a positive and safe community. Now you can manage block words, change chat in live, remove and review chat messages, hide or put you. Brilliant. So if you've got a show that's more popular than me, I come in and ban everyone and send them to me. Brilliant. Thanks for that.
Hope you have
this is great. You got to make friends at the top, Sensei. This is how you do it, mate. This is how you build a YouTube empire. You become moderators for the competition and then crush them. Brilliant.
We're all one here on this channel. Stacey Bailey, thank you very much for the super chat. Thanks for bringing Martyn and the Lucas Age to your channel. Merry Christmas. Good luck on your journey. Hope to see more of this team in the future. Absolutely. Thank you very much. Happy holidays. We have the Lucas Aids here should send an email, should send a small super chat to show love for support for Pow having Martyn today. Thank you very much. We got High Tide, SNDL. There you go. We got the SNDL army in the house as well. Tilray, Technology. Let's see, Sensei says we can hear you fine. Just the visual.
There's a lot of comments to get through.
Oh man,
you want to go on?
Kanara here. So we got some Kanara family in the house as well. I think we're about halfway through. I'm going to skip through just in case I missed any super chats. We got another one here from Stacy. Thank you very much. Sensei wants to call in. We have already
making way too much money, Rod. Making way too much money.
I do.
Yeah.
I really do appreciate it. Appreciate the support.
I love this. This is great to watch. This is brilliant. What can we do?
Fantastic interview. Do it again. Thank you very much. What were we going to say? What can we do?
I'm trying to think. I want to do something. What Sensei, I don't even need to ask because he'll do it if I ask him because he's good like that. He's really nice like that. He never throws me under a bus. One day he will go, I'm not agreeing to that. I tell you what we'll do. Okay. Have we got, bloody hell, look at it. I'm on air in half an hour. I tell you what, this is what I'll do. Let me create something. Anyone who comes in, so it'll be, I'm just trying to think now, what should I say? So anyone who comes into our show in half an hour's time on the main channel, I'll set up in fact, I'll do it afterwards, right? In half an hour from now, when we finish with Rod, we're going to be back on our channel again, going live. Anyone who's one of Pow's fans, all right, you love Rod, right? you just say, I'm a PAL fan or something like that, which identifies you. The first 5 people, all right, then Sensei will do a little technical chart for you on Sunday. How about that, Sensei? Would you do that, mate?
Yeah, definitely. Let's get some different perspectives and let's give back to
Yeah.
Rod's
Yeah.
followers.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We also provide
Sounds awesome.
free training. We don't sell. We have it in our Discord. We got Sensei, who's got his channel. We got Ed Nevius, who's paid to learn to scalp trade. He provides it for free. We got some great perks. So if you come in the show, we start in half an hour. I haven't set it up yet because I'm talking to Rod for 3 hours. When I set up the show, come and join us. If you put you're a PAL fan, you're one of Rod's army, right? We'll give the first 5 people the link to Sunday, and Sensei will do a little chart for you. And if you become a member of our channel, we'll upgrade you during the show, and you can all get access to Discord and get all that free training and stuff like that. A little Christmas gift, Rod. Christmas spirit.
James already commented there. I'm a PAL fan, so James 007, and we got Danny Shan.
James, you're already a PAL fan. You've already got access to everything, James. Behave yourself. That's one of the Lucasades.
Andre.
You can't get it twice.
Well, while we speak, Tilray is now up almost 28% on the day today.
Ooh.
Leading the list here. Checking on XRP here real quick before we wrap things up.
What's your price targets for XRP? Then?
I'm going to ask.
What are your targets? This
Targets?
Are you looking at it as a bull cycle? Are you thinking it's going to top out 2025?
I think 2025. I was showing this to Martyn before you joined the call, so I posted a video. If you go to my channel, just type in XRP $14. I give 4 reasons why I believe XRP will hit $14 to $16. That video there, and 4 major reasons why. And one of the reasons why is the blue bars here. This fractal is the all-time price history of Bitcoin. So you can see that if we take a look at Bitcoin in the early days, it followed similar boom and bust cycles. And this is the XRP chart, and then the blue bars are the Bitcoin all-time price index. So if you look here, we were very similar on the boom and busts. And in the times where we were lagging, there usually was a few God candles that ensued. So I mentioned when we broke into this symmetrical triangle, we would more than likely see a similar scenario as we were lagging. And it's saying that we could see about $14 to $16 on that target. And if we use our fib tool as well from the previous all-time high to the low, well, wouldn't you know, that lines up right around $14 to $15 as well. If you look at Bitcoin, when it had its first ever monthly EMA 12 and 26 bear cross, which was right here on XRP, Bitcoin ran, I think it was 13,000%. If we go from the low there after the first bear cross to $16, 13,000%. So that's just 3 major reasons why there. And we also just had the 50 and the 200 weekly moving average bull cross, and we're now going absolute parabolic here on XRP. Last time that happened, we went from about 11 cents all the way up to $2. And the last time it happened on Ethereum, price went from about $600 right here all the way up to 5,000. So I think sky's the limit on this thing. I think $14 to $16 is kind of the most likely scenario. I think 8 to 12 is pretty much a done deal. And then I think 14 to 16 is the most likely scenario, but high end, maybe 20 to 25 bucks, but I can't see it going much higher than that this cycle. And then, like I said, it's saying sometime around March is where we would potentially top out, which I think makes a lot of sense. Probably going to see the case come to an end, whether it be a settlement or a dismissal. I think settlement's the most likely. And then it's saying we could be due for about an 80% correction down to around just over $3, which would also be the previous all-time high becoming new support. So that makes a lot of sense in terms of a technical analysis perspective as well.
Yeah,
that's my thoughts.
I mean, it's not ridiculous. I mean, it's higher than my targets. I can see why. Your reasons from a technical point of view are sound. I was just making sure you're not one of the people that are saying it's going to $1,000 a cycle or $100. But do you have a strategy where you're going to be laddering out, or you wait for target, or like one target and that's it?
Yeah, there's my exit plan. So I'll just bring this up real quickly. If you search on my channel, do XRP exit plan, it'll be this one here. And I won't play the whole video or anything, but I'll just bring up the first page here. And it's loading. It's probably trying to load some ad, but essentially, if you haven't seen that video, I'm not sure why it's not loading here at the moment. There we go. So you can see I have all of my take profit. First one is my initial investment. So my initial investment, I'll be taking out my my investment principal at $4. So, and then I'm staggering it and exiting dollar cost selling essentially from there. So I'd be looking at $7, 11, 19, 26, 35, and then I'm going to be holding a certain amount forever. So I'll be holding 500. This is just an example. If I had this amount of XRP, I could have more, I could have less. I typically don't tell people how much I carry in terms of dollar value or shares or anything like that. So you can make whatever assumptions you want, but essentially this is just based on me having an average, which is true. I have an average of around 42 cents USD on XRP. And I do an example. If I had 10,000 XRP, this would be my exit strategy. So I specifically mention how many shares I'll be selling, but again, I could have more, I could have less, and that's my exit plan. So I've also did a similar exit plan on Tilray as well. So if you just go to my channel here, I don't think Tilray's going to go to $300 anytime soon. So if you do same thing, Tilray exit plan, that'll come up first one there. So I did a similar scenario, and we don't need Tilray to go to $300 again, right? Even if it goes to, like Martyn said, a $40 stock, that's life-changing wealth from.
Well, I'd be happy to take selling it today. 28%, you say it's gone up today. That's a year and a half on the S&P, the 500 best businesses in the world, in a few hours.
Yep. Well, I was actually
when there's nothing to hold it up, but it could. I would. I have done. When I traded in October, I did 19 trades, 19 wins. They were all like 1.5%, 2% trades, and I ended up gaining 3.75 shares of the S&P 500. So I don't get greedy. I don't try and time the market and trying to get the highest price. If you can make 28% in a few hours and you don't take it on a stock that's got no fundamental reason to be up today, what are you waiting for?
This is what I get a lot of people asking me, like, when's a good time to buy a stock, whenever it's already run. One thing I like to use is different targets. So whether it be a bull flag, you can make the argument. So if we just flip this around, right, this is a bear flag, but let's say this is a bull flag, and you've seen a big move to the upside and you're not sure where to get in. Well, one thing I really like about technical levels and using fib tools and technical patterns and indicators, you can use crucial levels for an entry point or even an exit point. But on a move like this, let's say this was a bull flag, it's inverted, on this brief high or low, you'd have a nice entry there because it could potentially be a bull flag. The low was 136, and as long as we held above, sorry, what's going on? Oh yeah, because it's inverted. So you could have set your stop below the 0.32 fib right here, right? That's just a technical target. And then same thing on the bear side. If you're looking at an entry and you're looking to go long, well, I've been saying on my channel for a while now that Tilray was a daily bear flag. If you take your measured move there from the high to the low, move it out to your 0.382, that gives you your measured move of $1.14, and that's exactly where we hit to the penny. Was $1.14, and then from that technical breakdown, we are now up almost 28%, from that low of yesterday. So knowing, technical analysis isn't the end all be all, it's not a guarantee, but knowing that, this was an opportunity to enter at $1.14, the charts were basically saying that it was more than likely going to be the case, the most likely scenario. And then we hit $1.14, even like you said, if you were just looking for a quick swing trade there, or if you were looking to, swing it for multiple months, you could have entered with a stop just below $1 even, right? And essentially you'd risk about 10% and you'd already be up almost 30%. So that's a nice idea for, we're an investing and a trading community. So there's some people that do trading, some people that only do investing, et cetera, a mix of both like me. But yeah, nice risk versus reward there. And might even have some more gas in the tank left with a daily EMA bull cross on deck here as well. So key resistance up at 145. Yeah, 145 key resistance, and look where we topped out today, right at 145. So might be it for today. But yeah, if we get above 145, then there's a lack of resistance till about 182. But yeah, Tilray's got a lot of work to do. I'm not pumping this thing by any means. We're looking not too bad here though on the weekly time frame. If we can get these next few days of tax loss harvesting out of the way, we could be due for an interesting start to 2025.
What's your thoughts with obviously being so technical in the trading and so on? What's your thoughts with not saying how much you've got? Why do you not? I know it's a personal question, but what? Tell me your thought behind that.
I personally just don't want to put a target on my back, I guess, is the most. A lot of people don't even like showing their face on YouTube.
I don't see. I don't understand it. I think you'll see. I mean, if you can just flash back to me full screen a second, if you wouldn't mind, that'd be really kind. So this is my actual brokerage, right? This is all the money I have in the world. I've shown my bank account on screen as well. I've got $10 in the bank, right? This is my Roth IRA, right? That's how much money I got in the Roth IRA. That's my total balance. That's my margin. You can see it all of there. You can see I only own the S&P 500. If I scroll down there, 99.86. So it's basically everything, right? So people can see exactly what I've got. And I've always felt that just gives so much more. I don't know why. When I came to America, right, my wife told me off. She said, you can't ask people those sort of questions. I go, well, what do you mean? You can't ask somebody how much their house costs.
How old you are.
Yeah, why not? I can't understand what it is if I don't know what it is. It's only a number. If you said you got $1 billion or one, it doesn't change anything, but now I understand. Right?
I think it's just money in general. Like money.
Why are people so weird about that?
It makes them feel weird, yeah, because it's like even in my own family, right? Like if I talk to my brother, well, not my middle brother, but my oldest brother, if I talk to him about money, he's just like, whoa, why are you talking to me about my finances? Like, this is personal, right? And yeah, I think it's mostly, I think, because people just weren't taught about money when we were in grade school and growing up. It's just not really part of education. So
but you can't learn anything.
It's kind of taboo. It's kind of taboo, It's
but like, you break down taboo and you learn stuff.
Yeah.
Every member, every one of the Lucasades tells me how much they got. Everybody. Yeah. I tell them what I got. Then they're on the real life journey with you. I mean, I'm not saying you have to. I mean, you do where you want, but I just think you gain a lot more by being the guy who tells everybody everything. I really believe people want that.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like
something's happened, so I just have to leave. But thank you for having me.
All right,
on.
thank you, Sensei.
Right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Sensei. Love you, mate. Cheers, mate. Cheers.
We're just wrapping up anyway. Thank you. But yeah, I think for me I used to do it once upon a time, but I don't. It's not really like a bad experience or anything like that. It's more just a personal preference for me.
No, that's fine.
I also don't want to be like gloating. I don't want to be. Some people might look at my portfolio and think that that's a lot of money, and I don't want to be on here like
I thought
that. Like that.
Do you know, I thought that when I started to have some success, I thought, oh my God, no one's going to support me now because now I've got $200,000. Oh, I'm going to. No, I get more super chats because people know it's real. I mean, look at Meet Kevin. He's got like 2 million subscribers. He's got a private jet. And he's got super chats in his chat. He hasn't got the memberships, nowhere near. He's got like about 2% of his members, viewers are members. Mine's 98%. But if you tell people that your journey, it's my way. It's not the right way. It's my way. You don't have to do it. I'm just saying. It's just interesting to talk to you and ask why. Because I think when you're on air, we have a responsibility. We show people what we're doing and we're expressing stuff. And if people only know half the story, where are you coming from? Who are you? And
I'll be
they know my story.
Right? My goal is always to be transparent. So if someone comes on and asks why I don't share that, I'll be transparent about as much as I can.
Perfectly respectable. Nothing wrong with that.
I'm just a personal preference.
Yeah. My wife thinks I'm an idiot. My wife thinks I'm an idiot.
They come on and they wear a mask, like they're E for Vendetta, like they're really paranoid. Yeah. I mean, can you blame them? There's a lot of crazy things happen.
Do you know? And I'll be honest with you, I get lots of horrible hate mail from the less than 0.1%. 99% are lovely, right? But there's idiots. There's idiots in the world. It's not because of you, what you do. It's because they're idiots. And if you get big, idiots find you, right? But I can tell you now that doesn't stop me or put me off from being myself at all. And I can honestly tell you, and I've had some amazing experiences all over the world, from gangs to terrible people in violence, in war zones, you name it, I've experienced it. If you always go in respectfully with a smile and open, you can, most times, 9 times out of 10, you'll be all right. Most people are good. Most people are good. And people got your back. People got your back. They're behind you. And I just trust everyone. I trust every word anyone says until they lie to me. Then I go, okay, you're off my list. But I go in with it with the positive that everyone's good, because most people are, mate, aren't they? Most people just want to get on with life, and
I think so.
Most people are nice.
Yeah, and I mean, I can't say enough good things about the comments today, the quality of the contributors that we've had in the chat. So thank you very much, everybody. Guess we'll wrap things up. Is there anything you would like to leave our audience with before we?
Well, that's very kind of you. I've just set up the show. I've put the link in the chat. If you go to your settings now, because you know you've added me, so I can send to you, right? We've set that up now. If you quickly go into, oh, sorry, I've just done it. I've just set you up. So if you go into this video, this live stream now in the studio, you can say redirect if you want to. You don't have to, but if you want for it to redirect to my live stream, you can click on my live stream that's coming up next, and you can just add that in, and when we finish, it'll go there if they want to then benefit from that. So
is that no, that's not it. Hang on, I got to refresh here, I think.
Yeah, so what you do is you go to my channel, you find the upcoming live stream, you get that URL, and then you go into your YouTube studio of where you're streaming live right now, and it will say redirect in the options, and you can
the one starting in 18 minutes. Okay,
there you go. There you go. And as you end, it'll just, your audience will go there, and I'll do the same thing back to you.
Perfect. I just set that up, so everybody will.
Awesome, and wonderful.
To switch over there, starting in.
Rod, can I thank you very much for the opportunity? You got a great channel. You do a great job. I wish you the very, very best of luck. We are in a very privileged position to have a YouTube channel. It's great to be able to speak to the world today. Good luck with it all. Keep doing it, and you'll grow. I was one subscriber 4 years ago, and only 2 years ago I was 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, and suddenly it starts to multiply and multiply and multiply. So we can all go to 1 million subscribers if we work hard enough. Just work harder than everyone else. Be honest, be real, love what you do, and I love your channel, mate. Thank you ever so much for having me on the show. First time I've ever done an interview.
Appreciate that. Well, I'm honored to be the first. So thank you very much for your time. I appreciate your channel. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a fantastic job. And shout out to all the wealthers, the Lucas Aids, and everybody. Have a fantastic holiday to you and your wife as well, Martyn, and your family. Wish you nothing but the best, and happy holiday.
Thank you very much. Happy Christmas to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Take care. All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate everybody joining us on The Pursuit of Wealth. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the interview in the comment section below. Is there anybody else that you would like to see on the channel? What was your favorite part about the interview? And shout out to the Tilray and XRP family. Going to end it there, though. Thank you very much once again, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care.